team's done.
Oh my goodness, my team is cooked. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Open Field. Shout out to the guys, Random, Grant, and Dev. You already know how the story goes. If you want to be a part of the Players' Choice community, shout out to our gold members first and foremost. Hermayes, IDWC, Avion Plumber, Cobra, Son of Raditz, and all our Hall of Fame and legend members. If you want to be a part of Players' Choice community, you already know. I say this every week. It gets redundant. The information you need below, but I'm going to keep telling y'all, make sure y'all go like and subscribe. Obviously, if you want to pull up, for sure, 100% turn your camera on. That is obviously the first thing that's always seen. If you want to come up here, we know we got to see some of y'all beautiful and not so beautiful mugs. Now, anyway, into this week's, obviously, this is one of those college football days here at Players' Choice. This is that first day of the week. So, first week, we make sure, listen, Open Field is going to keep the college football talk alive, and we're going to carry that thing on our back, and that's just what it's going to be. So, obviously, what happened this week? Y'all? Colorado lost. Colorado lost. The world came and was happy. But hold on, y'all. Let me get something real quick.
Well, I think I know what he's saying. Colorado lost and the world danced on their grave. A lot of people were talking mad mess.
Mm-hmm.
And the craziest part is you saw how Deion was talking at the end of the game. He wasn't like crazy. He didn't make any excuses. He straight up said, nah. I was like, what am I supposed to get mad at the coach for? He's like, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And he's like,
obviously, I know what happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot of people who was real happy about it. I got a lot of, did you pray today's J-Rob? Did you pray today?
That's crazy.
Everybody was on J-Rob's ass about this loss. But let me tell you how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
It's still Skull Bucks, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
It's still Skull Bucks, you heard? That's not changing. Y'all want me to switch up. First of all, let me say the first things first. Stop making it seem like somebody up here was saying Colorado's finna go undefeated and win the national championship in the first year. Nobody, not one time had that ever been a conversation. Now, y'all are glorifying and blowing up my DMs, blowing up my Telegram with all of this. Oh, what happened? What happened with the Buffaloes? You understand Oregon was a 21-point favorite in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they were supposed to do. They went out there and dominated, bro. The team was 2-0 at the time. Deion even said we need 2 or 3. We need 8 or 7 more dogs. And he may have not said at what positions, but let's be honest. We all know what position them 8 to 7 other dogs need to be at.
Them trenches.
All up front. It's in them trenches. They don't got them dogs in them trenches. But I'm going to tell y'all what. If y'all thought the transfer portal boomed for Colorado this past year, I'm telling you now, you better watch out. Because the SEC, them Big Ten kids, they're going to want to go play with Deion. And I'm going to still stand on it. Obviously, Colorado must go. Colorado must go on the road. I mean, the Colorado's going to go back home. And they got to play USC. Salute, y'all.
Ticket. Hold on real quick, J-Rob. This Emilio. Ticket doesn't watch football. That's my problem with him trying to talk about this. He doesn't watch football. He's dumb. He's dumb on this. He's ignorant on this topic.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why I went on the open. That's why I went up there on Open Gym. Because I wasn't going to let Damo just dominate a college football conversation when I know he's never
watch
really
it the same way they would like it if you watch
I don't want everybody, especially when it comes to college ball. If you don't know now, I'm gonna make sure I put everybody on game.
They would feel some type of way if we was over there trying to tell them who's going to win the NBA championship, right?
I'm gonna tell them that anyway.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like Ticket would be losing his mind right now if you walked on there and tried to tell him.
I'm gonna tell them anyway who's gonna win the championship. I know what
talk about it. LeBron.
That doesn't look like the Mavericks. That doesn't look like.
But anyway, we're not doing it. We're not talking basketball. We're talking college ball. Well, anyway,
good with y'all boys.
I'm still staying on the wave. They obviously got to go home and play USC this week. And after what I see from USC against them, how they showed out against Arizona State, I'm going to pick my Buffaloes in the upset, just because I think they can score, and I'm gonna stick beside them. Obviously, a lot of the world's going to pick USC, but I'm gonna rock with my boys to get an upset win at home. I think being at home will be big for them. I think the one thing people didn't notice in the Oregon game, a lot of those players that hadn't played majority of the year got to play in the fourth quarter of that game. So you're going to see a lot of new faces. Expect to see Cormani McClain, Ultimate Caskill out there. So, I'm still rocking with my guys. And What do y'all think on Oregon's loss?
Hey,
CU's loss to Oregon.
let me go ahead and just double down with you real quick. I agree on the most part of just people like they gassing to the point of just losing. Like if you didn't think they were gonna lose, and a lot of people I know because like I understand why they was low key getting on you, J-Rob. I mean, you set a target for yourself. You know what I'm saying, my dog? You feel me?
I don't care. Listen,
like, you know you have that job painted, plastered everywhere.
JJ,
but like,
JJ, they still gonna show up and watch. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
that's what I'm saying. That's not even the
care.
problem. My issue with people is like they get too invested. They try to hate on certain people too at the same time. Like to the point they think it's too much glaze, and at the same time it gets too far where I think it's too much hate. Bro, obviously in my opinion, it's just clear they were not beating Oregon, bro. It is what it is. You look at their O-line gotta be one of the worst in college football. You look at their D-line, it gotta be one of the worst in college football. Bro, they don't got nothing but a passing offense. They can't run the football unless you're running on one of the boo-boo D-lines that they went against already, right? And so, realistically speaking, bro, if you want to have a sense on speaking on a team, bro, you gotta respect the fact that they even went out and won 3 games the way they did in that fashion, right? And then know that they're gonna improve because that's all it really comes down to. The fact that Prime came out there and was in the unison with him and his coaches, you know what I'm saying, his offense coordinators, defense coordinators, all the coordinators on the staff, right? And they sat there and was able to win 3 games in a row. Already goes and shows that they are in the right track. They're already on the right track. Them winning those 3 games, having the culture that they got already, that players are witnessing right now, that portal, the recruits that they're about to get is about to be flooding their thing, especially the fact of who they coaches. Yes, they lost to Oregon. We already knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. It was obvious. If they won, I'm not going to lie, they would have been hearing it from everybody. Y'all can't even say y'all can't gas them no more because if they won, y'all going to say then, right? So just realistically speaking, bro, Prime has a huge load on his shoulders next season, right? And it's coming down to him getting a lot of recruits in, which I think the recruits in the transfer portal and in high school right now is going to be his secondary. He's going to bring in a lot of dudes. You know what I'm saying? Just due to the fact that who he is, he's going to bring in just a lot of great players in general. They're going to want to be a part of that. You feel me? O-line is going to probably be an issue still because at the end of the day, you got to have a good eye for knowing how to find great players in O-line. But if you got just a good player around you, bro, you got a good support cast around you, better, not even better receivers, but like a better rushing attack, you know what I'm saying? A better plan. He's gonna get more he's gonna get better coordinators. Watch, I'm telling you right now. In the coming years, he's gonna get
his staff is very good.
I'm not even mad at his staff. I'm not even saying his staff isn't good. I'm just saying if you tell me right now, because there's gonna be an NFL, I'm blanking on some names right now, but there's gonna be some guys that were in the NFL that are gonna be like, shoot, let me
Warren
Sapp, let me see what I can do, right? Hey, Prime, let me see if I can pull. You think Prime passed up on that? Come on.
No, hold on.
So just to finish, so there we have to go because I'm picking it up. I'm taking it up. Just to finish, you know, Oregon, that was gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna beat USC, honestly speaking, bro. But if they do, bro, you know, you don't want to hear from my dog J-Rob. You don't want to hear from the rest of these guys because it's gonna be over with. Because they back on your heads again. But Caleb Williams gonna have a. Caleb Williams, it's not really too much of a hard task for him to go against. But Shedeur, the only critique I got for you, bro, honestly speaking, you don't want to run. I know you don't want to. You can do it though, bro. Just let go of the football, bro. Like I'm watching you. There's a lot of times.
I don't think he's holding the ball because I don't think he's holding
Stop holding on to the pill, bro.
Well, hold on, y'all. He's not one of those players that's gonna, because this is the same criticism that CJ Stroud had in Ohio State. You know, like some guys, you know, and I think this, and to me, you know, I just think certain quarterbacks are like, you holding the ball, you need to run it now. And that's never been Shedeur. He was recruited as a pocket passer. He's always been a pocket passer. And I'm going to just say this, in his defense, bro, he is literally pressured more than any quarterback in the country. And he was leading the nation at one point in passing yards and completion percentage and all those categories. So I think he does hold the ball too long, but I don't think he's holding the ball too long because he doesn't know what he's processing. And
that's why I'm not even faulting his processing. But that's my point, right? Like you just said, he was recruited as a pocket passer, and we've witnessed that he can still at least move out the pocket. He doesn't like. You don't really like if you're comfortable with one more thing, that you're not going to do that, right? But at the end of the day, it's just at the very end of the day, bro. just better for you. Just let it go, bro.
Take off and run. Because if you even watch the,
I throw it out. I spike the ball before I do that, though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's definitely.
I can't just because I know for a fact he's just a better player than holding onto the ball trying to extend something. When you know you're not going to be able to get away from, bro. Like, you got 5 people rushing at you, bro.
Just let it go, bro. Experience and the play.
I think Deion said it best. This is the year to get him. Over the next 5 years, he's gonna have the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Colorado is the premier program now for players to come to. Mm-hmm. Whether you want to say it's the Deion effect, whatever it is, it's 100% the Deion effect. Players want to play for Deion, so 100%
Cowboy like Meek. You saying that the number 1 quarterback
Everything y'all
number 1 recruiting quarterback.
Meek,
y'all look past all the facts.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. Listen, the number 1 quarterback in the recruiting class.
You're gonna go right after him. Meek, you're gonna go right after him.
Popularity, bro.
It don't matter. Kids are into that, bro. You out here thinking old school. Kids are into that. The number 1 quarterback literally took the number 1 quarterback in the recruiting class. Literally took an official visit to go see Deion. You out here act like it don't matter. Those kids care about that. Deion can make a money in the NIL. He can get their social media up. These kids.
I'm not saying you're wrong about that, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong.
First of all,
but y'all look past the facts before the game, bro. Y'all knew all of this shit was true before the game.
Okay, hold on.
Y'all
let me finish. Okay, obviously that Thursday before or the Tuesday before the Oregon game, I was one of them people. I took Colorado, and Grant. I was talking to Grant off chat. He can tell you himself. I was waffling the rest of the week. I was like, "Yo, I'm wilding," because when you actually legitimately think, and he kept on like, "Nah, man, you gotta believe." And then right before the live stream before the game, I switched my thing. Obviously, Colorado was not prepared to take on a team of that level. They just were not. The trenches were not ready.
The trenches was not it for them.
The trenches was not ready. But what do you call it?
Y'all said the skill players, though. Y'all said the skill players.
Okay, if the quarterback don't have time,
they do have the skills. Though.
We knew this, though. We all knew the line would be a problem. Y'all said the skill.
Let me ask you a question. Could you use this exact same excuse for Daniel Jones? If the quarterback does not have time,
we're not talking about the
no. Listen,
Come on, bro.
Listen to this.
He's right though.
If the quarterback does not have enough time to throw, can he get the ball to his playmakers? Answer the question, Meek.
What I'm saying is,
answer the question. It's a simple question.
What I'm saying is, you knew all of this was true.
Answer the question, Meek. If any quarterback does not have time to throw, can they get the ball to their playmakers, Meek?
You're right.
Yes or no?
You're right. But we knew this would be a problem from the
jump. Yeah, we knew it. But okay, obviously, not just me, J-Rob, Riddell, a whole bunch of other people. Grant, we all was like, look, they'll figure it out. Was it dumb to just go with they'll figure it out instead of actually having a legit reason? Yes, it was dumb, but we believe.
That's all I want to do.
Amen. We believe
That's all I want to do.
And we saw it was wrong. And we saw it was wrong. But listen to this, Meek. He's
just
already
don't bring the Giants in it, though.
Oh, well, whatever.
Should I change my picture?
We're not even talking about the job. What are we doing?
Clearly.
I will say this. In this,
hold on, Riddle. Let me finish real quick. I promise. Okay.
Let's finish our point.
Colorado is massively ahead of schedule. And if they make a bowl, this has been a massively successful season. Take it out here saying they're going to win a national championship is wrong. Even Bama saying they were going to win 10 games is wrong. Okay. They're way ahead of schedule. They're way ahead of schedule. And if they become bowl eligible, they'll have a number of bowls lining up to take them because those bowls will never get that kind of traction to come somebody watch them bowls again in their life.
Yeah, whatever Colorado team gets whatever bowl game, whatever brand bowl game, like if Colorado's makes like a New Year's Six, those brand bowl games, whatever brand, they're all going to bid for Colorado to be one.
They're all going to bid for them.
Of how big of a game it'll be. Go ahead, Grant. Grant, Shonen. And then go Dev. So
the one thing that I'll say about this game is I was, again, like Random said, we were talking, and I said that I felt like what Deion had to do was he could motivate this team and he could give them this confidence to believe that they could do it. After 2 drives in that game,
confidence. Oh my god!
After 2 drives of that game, I kind of all that went out the window. I look at this now and I understand. Yes, that was a hard game for them to play because you have to understand Oregon is a powerhouse. They have a very deep roster, and it's a stacked team. So was the fact that I probably knew that they were going to get blown out? Yes, but I wanted to have some sort of hope that they were going to at least, even if they lost, it would have been a close contest. It wasn't that. Now, the thing I don't really like is again, it's the same thing like J.R. was saying, with tickets saying they're going to win a national championship. That's not going to happen. The problem is with that is you have to give Colorado time. Sure, like you can bring in this big roster of all these players, but you have to understand it's a whole new system. They have to learn how to play this whole new type of ball that Deion Sanders is coaching them to play. And then they have to also understand that you don't build a national championship team in a single season. Like people forget, it took Saban 3 years to win his first title with Bama. Because he came to Alabama in 2007. He didn't win his first title till 2010. So you have to understand, it takes time. Now, my thing is, I'm still going to support Deion because I want to see him succeed. The people that are just hating, I've always said this, there are always people in this world who are going to prey on people's downfall. As soon as that game was over, or even during the game, it was constant hate, constant attack, because they were waiting for this moment. They were waiting for him to fail so they could have this attack. And all y'all are just sorry, and y'all needed to get out your mother's basement because it's ridiculous. Y'all have to understand this man is trying to build Colorado into a national championship program. If he can build the same power with the recruiting class that he has done the next 2 or 3 years, yeah, we can have a conversation about them being in the title hunt. But now, if they win 7 to 9 games this season, that's the best turnaround by a college football coach I've seen in a while. So I think people have to understand, you have to give it time. I think the biggest problem was a lot of people who were supporting Colorado hopped onto this bandwagon and automatically assumed just because of the TCU game and the Nebraska game that they were going to win this national championship. That's not the case. I said this multiple times, and you can go back and look at previous episodes. I've said, I think Colorado is winning a 7 to 9 games this year. I don't think they will make a New Year's Six Bowl with their schedule, but you have to give it, again, I'll say this last point because I don't want to take up too much time. Give it time. Let the recruiting class build up. Deion was able to recruit Travis Hunter and Cormani McClain to come play for him. He did this. If I bet you if there's any other coach and they try to recruit them, they wouldn't even hate it. But the what's the word I'm looking for? The not glow, but like, what's the word? Like, I'm trying to think of the word.
Cachet, cachet that Deion has. The cachet.
Exactly. Okay. Like that aura that Prime has that gets players to come. I think he can build that. If you give it, like I said, if you give it 2 or 3 years, I seriously think that Colorado can be in a hunt for a national title or be in the playoff. Because we have to understand, next year the playoff expands to 12 teams. So now there are 12 teams that are all going to have a shot for a national championship. It won't be just 4. So that we have to put in the equation as well. But yeah, just give it time. And so I'm still going to support Deion. I'm not going to abandon him because I want to see him succeed. But yeah, it still was gut punch to see him go down like that.
So for me, this game, obviously, what happened. For people talking crap, they're talking crap. That comes with the territory, considering they got so popular so fast. So immediately, every single time that happens, you're gonna have haters who don't have that type of credibility, basically. For me, when it came to this game, like what JJ was saying earlier, obviously the O-line and D-line is not great. And the biggest thing that was very obvious to me is if they play a team that is really good at running the ball, they're going to get gashed every single time. And that is exactly what happened in this game. Also, if they have a good pass rush, which Oregon was constantly on Shador's head. Yeah. So that makes the game against USC interesting for me. I don't know if they have this elite run game because Oregon, like, even they didn't even pass as much. Like, their rushing yards was almost as much as their passing yards. They were just running all game. So if it becomes a passing battle, and another aspect that I said in the game, one big thing that the Colorado is going to have to do, and I know Travis Hunter's out, so it's harder, is they're going to have to bank on what they've been banking on all year, turnovers. They're going to have to make that plays. They're going to have to get the interceptions. They're going to have to make the fumbles, and that's how they're going to be able to get in position to score the points, to make it harder for the other team so they can't rely on the run game and make it a passing duel. So I think it will be an interesting game against USC if they make it a passing duel versus the two teams. So, and I don't know the USC's pass rush. I don't know how good they are. If they are good, then Shador may be cooked again, but we'll see. I think it'll be I think that game will be more competitive than the Oregon game for sure.
See, USC is dropping 40 on them.
I want to also admit, I want to say this.
I think USC trying to be like
I want to say this. It's not that they have a good rushing attack, bro. Colorado cannot stop the run at all. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't. That's the problem. The thing is about this team, their best attributes is literally two things that they do both well on both sides. Is well against the pass and well against, and it's not even the secondary actually, not even pass rush because they don't even have a solid pass rush. It's just a good secondary and they have a great passing offense actually for what they have to work with. They cannot protect Shador because their O-line is not clearly up to par to even stop a pass rush because you saw what happened even in the Colorado State game. They couldn't stop the one defensive end. What's it called? Oh my gosh.
I don't know his name, but I know what you're talking about.
I literally remember it starts with A, but
I don't remember.
They can't stop the pass rush at all. So literally, their whole thing banks on their whole the whole thing banks on them just running quick stuff to get open and Shador extending plays. And Shador is not going to be able to extend plays against Oregon. It just is what it is. And USC, I'm not mad. I'm not even disputing what you're saying. I'm just
what I'm going to say is that in the Oregon situation, I agree, but my opinion is that when they play USC, even though they know they can
run
Mohamed
the ball, Kamara. That's
they're not going to run the ball. They're going to want Caleb Williams to cook. That's what they're going to want to do.
No, and that's my thing. No, but the
Riddell.
Hold on. I want Dev to go because y'all definitely cut Dev off. He never got his points. Go ahead, Dev.
No, you go. I just want to add on to you guys' points on the whole Colorado situation. I feel like the hate that they're getting is a little bit unwarranted because, like, if you know college football, if you really watch college football, we knew Oregon was going to win because they're just a better overall team. They're the more talented team. They're more talented in trenches as well. So
if you ask people up here, we didn't know shit.
Yo, me, stop cutting everybody off, gang. Please, bro. I asked simple instructions, bro. I've got to stop cutting people off because people not getting their takes off, gang. It's gotta let them get their takes off, bro. Make the show longer.
And I make this point quick. I think this is a loss that no loss. I think this is actually a good loss for a program. Reason why I say that because I feel like now Deion knows what he needs to fix for 100%, 100% for sure. Like in the wins, like it looks like we can be like okay maybe this we can get past, but since they face an elite team like Oregon, that's a top 10 team. Like okay, I know I really need to get down. I know where I need to fix it. I know what plays to call. Why I need to recruit where. And now, us to the fans, we know 100% where we need to get them dogs at because they got a dog at corner, they got a dog at quarterback, running back, and receivers. And like we all know, the trenches is really the big issue with. And Gerald, you play a high level football. The difference between like a HBCU, UConn, or Alabama is mainly
the size. Yeah, even from UConn to Division I AA, like even though UConn is not the biggest program at the FBS level, my D line and O line we would have walked most FCS schools outside of maybe like North Dakota State, Eastern Washington, like the top programs because of. If at the end of the day, you can't operate an offense if you can't get a block up front.
Exactly.
So because of that, you'll automatically
like fundamental.
That's my last point.
I want to hear why you are so over there upset, bro.
Yeah, and this is my last point.
Let Jeff finish first.
This is my last point. The hype for Colorado is still not over though. Just because they lost this one game, the hype's not over for all the haters in the background.
Oh, it's not.
It's not over. This next game is about to be way more heavily televised. I bet
the BT Awards
way more televised than this game.
I'll just be with the run of the stars.
When they go against Utah, it's gonna be heavily televised. When they go against UCLA, am I saying gonna win this game? No. But they're gonna, as long as Deion Sanders there, Shador, and they have that prowess, and they bring in these recruits. They're like this only step one. Like this only chapter one. Like
to Dev's point,
let me go, Jalen. Let me go after Dev. Dev, you done with your point?
Yeah, I'm good.
Go ahead, Meek.
Bro, I'm not a Colorado hater. It's just y'all were blind to the facts, and now y'all.
All right, so tell me the blind. So tell me what blind thing we said.
We knew this.
Quote. No. You said we said. So quote what we said that was blind to a fact. Because you can say we were wrong for picking them to win the game.
Would lead them to victory despite the fact that their O-line
Well,
is nowhere near
so if you
Oregon's
predict the team
D-line.
to win, so we predicted the
Come on,
team to
bro.
win.
What the
So if we
fuck?
predict the team to
Come on,
win,
man.
if you predict the team to win, you ask them, why do you think they're going to win? What did you want them to say? Do you want nobody to give you a reason why they thought they would win?
Ignore. Be real. Get off the rock.
Did you
Get off
think
the bike.
Did you wake
Get off that bike.
opening week when your team went out there and lost 40-0? In your heart, you thought they was going out there and beat the Cowboys opening day or be competitive, right? That's what you thought.
I don't know. I didn't think we would beat.
So you thought you were going to
Cowboys?
No.
All right, bro.
If I asked you,
Just like the 49ers.
Did you not watch that game on Sunday?
So Meek, let me
You
ask
talking
you,
about college football?
Meek, let me ask,
bro.
okay, but you're saying you're over here sucking your teeth and cutting your eyes up like a high schooler because you're mad that people picked them.
I'm being funny, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
Here we go. See,
I'm being funny.
You said suck your teeth, Meek. What are you talking about?
The only way Colorado was going to beat Oregon is by Shador going off.
And I never said anything about their O-line. I said the issue was the biggest.
You come on this show. You come on this show 100 times. Who outside of maybe Bama? Who has said Colorado's going to the Natty, bro? Please tell me.
Wait,
they maybe didn't say natty, but I heard some wild stuff. Y'all don't act like y'all wasn't saying no wild stuff, bro. Y'all act like y'all was not saying no wild stuff, bro.
The only thing I said.
You said Shador might be quarterback number one last time I watched.
That was Bama. That was Bama.
No, J-Rob said that. I said it in Discord.
Never said that.
I said it in Discord as soon as you said.
Listen, show the tape on the Discord, bro. We'll watch the tape together.
And J-Rob was a main merchant.
I definitely did say this, though. I did say Shador remind me of Joe Burrow, and I'm not backing down on that, and I'm not changing how I feel because I still feel that way about his game. So I'm not changing on that.
I see more Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
In high school,
Geno Smith. I mean, Geno Smith.
I'm talking about. I'm pairing him.
Geno was not in college.
No way I'm saying Geno Smith. No way.
Geno was not in college.
I'm just talking about, Geno had 3 good games. He was the Heisman favorite. And then after that,
before you met Joe Burrow, in 2019, you know he played college ball at LSU the year before, right?
No chance.
Yeah.
Right? And then what happened the year after?
And he was mid. He was mid at LSU.
And the year after, the team got better. And his stats went through the roof. So to sit here and still judge a guy because of the record, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Patrick Mahomes was the 11th pick or whatever pick he was in the draft, and he didn't win a lot of games in college. So let's not sit here and act like we didn't have all these quarterbacks in college football that's coming out of North Dakota State, Miami of Ohio, the Dukes, the North Carolinas. It happens all the time. So you don't have to be on this winning team.
Your record doesn't count that much.
That's not reflective.
You can use so many different examples. If Tom Brady literally started at Michigan, he wouldn't have been a 6th-round pick if you want to go by his record at Michigan. He wouldn't have been. So don't use the record or anything like that with it. The best part about this loss is that we were finally able to truly have honest conversations about what the team what Colorado needs to have to improve. That's what we were finally able to do.
Great
because dear God, if they found one of the few ways Colorado was going to be able to beat Oregon, if there was a universe that happened, Shador Sanders would have had to gone off. That's what would have happened. We'd have to see a Herculean effort by him, and that didn't happen. He didn't even have the chance
his legs. He would have probably had to run as well. He would have to.
We're legitimately. He needed to put up video game numbers for more.
I want the chat. I just want to clear something up with the chat because. The problem is everybody's so happy that they lost because we were so hyped on the CU train. And so because they lost, now everybody thinks we're going to have like this complete fall from grace. Now, I think if you run a tape, Deion Sanders himself said while they were 2-0 at the time, that we still about 8 to 7 players away. I've said that multiple times. Now, just because I don't want my team to lose, and whether they lose or not, I said I'm going to stick beside Deion and what he got going on because I think at the end of the day, I think Shador is that talented. I'm not about to change how I feel because I'm still going to feel that way because that kid is actually good at football, bro. It just is what it is. I've seen enough from the way he throws the football and the plays that he's made that he's good at what he does. So I'm not. So at the end of the day, I'm not. It's because they lost to the better team, and that happens. But now y'all want us to flop and change, and I'm like, yo, everybody. Even though we picked Colorado, the whole world knew that Oregon was the better team because that's why FanDuel had them as a 21-point favorite. It's not like we came. It's not like it was a surprise that Oregon dominated the way, or like we couldn't believe what happened. We just had faith in an upset. People can do that. It happens. Upsets happen all the time. That USC had no business being a dogfight with Arizona State, but they were in a dogfight with Arizona State. And they got an 18-year-old
that running back. That running
it
back Arizona State was doing his hardest.
Yeah, to add on to what Random says, to add on to what Random said and what Dev said earlier too, I think we have to separate the kind of the hate that Colorado's getting now. We have to separate the hate that Deion is getting versus the Colorado football team. Because right now, a lot of it right now is we understand. People still understand Colorado. They have Travis Hunter, they have Shedeur Sanders, both first-round draft picks eventually in the NFL, right? We understand there's talent and people need and they need to add more talent to the offensive line, all that. We get that. But a lot of the hater stuff that's coming for them is because of the Deion Sanders factor, because of he is such a brash.
What did Deion say in his press conference about his opponents?
100%. They want to beat him. The coaches want to beat him. That's 100%. Like I said before, too, a lot of these coaches, they've been in some of these programs 5, 6, 7, 8 years, had some winning seasons, but then they see a guy like Deion comes to first time in a Division I team, get a couple wins, and he's the biggest story in football. Right now, he's a bigger story than Alabama.
They want to rub his nose into.
He's the biggest story in sports, bro.
Exactly. Biggest story in American sports. We understand that,
and that's a problem,
right? And also, and the other discussions you can have is, the hate is the undertone.
After you, I want to hear about Mad Max.
Yeah, no, I want to say.
I need to respond. I need to hear what he said before I respond to that.
I'll say the racial undertones is another conversation we're having with the hate he's getting with Deion, right? Whether that's playing an effect as a guy, sometimes we don't see a lot of African American coaches in college talking that talk the way that Deion is, right? So if
it's bad when you get your ass beat so bad they have to say the only reason why you got your ass beat, it got to be racist for them to beat your ass.
No, that's not
no. Get your ass beat so bad it got to be racist. It got to be racist. That's the only thing that can solve
it. Wait, Jalen, that shit is actually I always say, bro. I said the one thing that I said might have been racist in sports was when Luka Doncic hit that 3 in front of Paul George and that Black Lives Matter logo. That might have been racist, man.
He did that.
I'm just kidding.
Other coaches.
No, but that's not what
But when you say racial undertones, the implication is you're saying they're racist.
Yeah,
no, that's literally what you mean, bro. There's no way you can.
I think this is what you mean. Don't sugarcoat it.
I think it's more.
It's not so clear. It's not so black and white though.
Way more media driven.
Well, I'm not going to say it's completely racial either because
for sure,
Jerry Norvell is black and he was throwing shots. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got a black parent.
You want to say
black
about that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would agree.
I think personally, more than anything
media driven. I think from Cinnabon to Jason Whitlock. It's like all these people are trying to. My fault.
Jason Whitlock brings racism to every time.
You good. I just let Mad Max.
Who pay attention to everybody? Who pay attention to Jason?
I want to hear what Mad Max has to say because he don't think the attention he's getting is good for football. So Mad Max, I want to hear what your thoughts.
Because it's got some of y'all delusional. You got some of y'all just losing y'all mind out here.
But delusional in what sense?
Colorado going 11-1.
I never said that.
National championship.
That's all bad.
All this coverage for what? They might not win 3 more games.
No, I understand that, but you can't.
The thing is, they end up 6-6. They both eligible. That's
all. Y'all keep saying it like
games. What are we talking about here?
They might not win 3 more games. They might not win 3 more games.
I'll say this, Matt.
They beat Arizona. That's 5 games.
Well,
maybe the game in question
beat your
Arizona State.
You understand? Like I feel like ultimately sometimes your celebrity is huge, and because of who you are as a person, you are bigger than you can sometimes be almost bigger than the sport. And I think a lot of the obviously a lot of the pomp and circumstance got everybody hyped up. But you gotta also admit too, Mad Max, as somebody who really knows college football, they also tilted their whole roster and upgraded a lot of players. Even if the trenches are still not great, the trenches that they got now was better than what they had last year. Because this man adopted a team that was 1-10. People got to remember this team was the worst team in FBS sports last year that he adopted, and he had a complete roster overhaul. This was a team that was slated to win 2.5 games this year. They're already 3-0. So no matter what, it is more than what they were expected to do. Now, there could be a scenario where they don't win 3 more games, and that will suck. But I can't see that happening. I can't see them just getting rolled by the rest of their schedule. I think that's too far fetched for me to believe. I think there'll be. I think the staff is good enough. They'll find the adjustments needed to be better. Now, Max, I can understand the hype is a lot, and we do get a little overexcited about what Deion's done to college football. But I will say this: you can't be mad at a man for being the figure he is. All Deion's ever done has been a winner. Super Bowls, been one of the
World Series,
MLB All-Star. He's played in the World Series. Like, this man has won at every stop along the way. He's been coaching. He's been coaching since high school. He was a winner at the high school level. He went to Jackson State. They won the SWAC every year. So it's not like this guy didn't pay his dues. And I think a lot of this stuff, a lot of it is hate. Like, for example, Dan Lanning. And I hate that I keep talking about Dan Lanning. As somebody who used to grow up, like, I used to love Oregon because of uniforms. They blow mine now. And the only reason is Dan Lanning. Let me ask y'all a question, because y'all talk about, we're talking about the attention, and some people think Deion is all extra with the attention. So Dan Lanning, when he had that whole thing, they're doing it for clicks, we're doing it for wins. He ain't know them cameras was in there at halftime. He didn't know
that was before the game, though.
The cameras were still there, man. The cameras were still there.
It don't matter. The camera's still there, but y'all know what he means. He's pumping his team up, bro. Y'all getting on this man for pumping his team up.
Max, nobody's being
the
mad.
Shit. Hey, if he can get that speech every week and it works,
Max, you being disingenuous. The point,
Max, that's not that direct shot, bro. Come on.
I'm not talking about the.
For sure.
It's not about the shot. That's the thing. You missing the point, and it doesn't matter in what point that he said it. My point is the camera was there, and cameras are always in locker rooms. But you think he told it? Some coaches don't tell cameras to come into the locker room. As somebody who's seen it, you don't always tell the cameras. Cameras are not always just, they're going into the locker room all the time. He knew that was there. And all I'm saying about it is, if you're going to be upset about one guy for the attention he gets, but you're going to say something like that, knowing the camera's there, knowing he's going to get picked up, that wasn't by accident. Jay Norvell's comments about my mama told me to take my hat and sunglasses off, that comment right there, that wasn't by accident. Oregon, the University of Oregon as a whole, Mad Max, since we've been watching college football, they have over 100 plus uniform combinations. They get a new uniform every week. Now, we could say that's on film night for the amount of money they get from Nike, but that is also, what is that also? A recruiting tactic. That is how you bring people to the program. That's literally how you make the program a thing. So there's not much to do in Oregon. You understand? Like, Nike is one of the biggest things about Oregon. So I don't want to sit here. I don't want to sit here and be acting like it's my problem is, if it's one way for Deion, but it's another way for everybody else. And as somebody who's been a historian of this game, like, I can name coaches who've been braggadocious to media and nobody cared about it. Like, does anybody know who Lane Kiffin is? Anybody? Can I get a Lane? Of course, the head coach at Wazoo. He was known for the way he spoke to me. God rest his soul. So this has been going on forever. Everybody's mad at Deion about the celebrities on the sideline. Everybody say this is glazing because I'm talking about it. But I'm just putting in perspective how y'all look. Y'all mad at this shit. You got more attention. Hold on. Let me finish. I'll let you go. 2000 Miami Hurricanes. How much attention did that team have? Those back in the day, them 90s Hurricanes teams.
They had
the USC teams of old, when they had Reggie Bush and all these people. They were hanging out with celebrities. Ask them about who they were hanging out with while they were in LA and who was around their team. Did we not see Kodak Black go viral for being in the locker room for Florida Atlantic University, sitting in the middle? So it happens everywhere. It's the Deion effect. That's why people are so upset. And I also can understand how some coaches out there that have been paying their dues for 10 years, and you see Deion getting every Aflac commercial. I could understand how that may rub you the wrong way because you were a GA. You did go up through the system. I could understand where the jealousy comes from, but I'm just going to say that, to be real, this stuff that's happening at Colorado, all this popping circumstance, it's not something that we haven't seen before in college sports. It has happened. I mean, look at the LSU women's basketball team, ladies and gentlemen. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about? Right. If you're popping, they going. That's just how the nature of the beast goes. Go ahead, Shawnee.
So for me, I'm gonna be honest. Like what he said, I don't personally care. And if I was in the exact same situation, I probably would say the exact same thing because I want to pump up my players at the end of the day. Because my thing with it is that the players themselves, regardless of if he like personally believes what he's saying, then that's one thing. That's just being a hater, honestly. But if this is more of just a tactic to, and I wouldn't know, obviously, but if this is more of a tactic to kind of pump up your players who are young individuals who are not getting the respect and attention compared to Colorado, nobody cares about them, nobody's talking about them. Right. All the celebrities that they look up to are here for Colorado, not them.
Right.
So that's how you pump up them. That's how you get them inspired, because that's when they're gonna start thinking to themselves, we're gonna make them pay attention to us. We are better. So that's why I'm not mad at it, because I personally would probably say the exact same thing to my players in that exact same situation to pump them up, to get them ready and dominate the other team that's about to come on the field, which exactly what they did. So
I want everybody to know nobody's talking about the speech. I don't care about the speech. I would have said the same thing to my players. I would have said the same thing as a head coach to my players. You got to really understand. Y'all are acting like we're mad at what Dan Lanning said. Nobody's mad at him. I would say the same exact thing to my players. But all I'm saying is to act like these other programs and coaches don't want the attention that Deion got on their program. Y'all are lying. We literally live in the NIL era. We live in the era where players get paid to be marketed. We see head coaches on TV. The point I'm making is Deion, understand these other teams may have won national championships, so everybody's popping. But Deion is the entity, so it's popping because he's there. Bryce Underwood, the number one player in 2025, would not be at the university.
No, he would not.
If Deion wasn't there.
No, he would not.
That's what's popping.
I
know that's hard to stomach. I know it's hard to stomach, but what did Future say? You do what you want when you popping. That's true.
And that's
the only time that Bryce
Underwood. I mean, but what point is that to make though? Like, why he's creating?
Hold on, I got one more thing to say. That's the other part of the
that electricity.
Let's show him wrap up his point because he started talking first. I did cut him off. Let him wrap it up in the context. Go right after. Go right.
Yeah. So that's the other point of this.
Okay, my fault, gang. My fault.
No, you good. That's the other part of the conversation is that the people who think that this attention and all the celebrities getting involved and all the coverage is a bad thing, that is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand that concept at all. More eyes on college football is a good thing for college football at the end of the day. It's just going to have more people watching, more people in tune, more money, more resources, and more prime, like better games, better product. That's just how the model works. That's how the business works. So the idea that this is going to be ruining this overall is ridiculous. So that's
if Tom Brady went to coach at Michigan, what would happen at Michigan, y'all?
Oh my God!
Don't be like, yo, you brought up Tom Brady, he's the GOAT football player. Deion Sanders is one of the most popular athletes of all time, bro.
Oh my God!
Michigan would get non-stop coverage.
They would be the biggest.
They would literally talk about Michigan. They would be talking about what the players did in practice. They'd be talking about what routes they ran. It would just be the most craziest.
They probably would have their own ESPN section, like
yes, they probably would.
Yes, they would.
Context, you go. You go. Then me go after. Me go right after.
And then we go after him, J-Rob.
No, I'm just saying.
I just want to say a quick thing, and then we'll jump into the other.
I want you
to
get your shit. I make sure everybody get their whole things off. Please get clipped up too. So I need that.
Yeah, the point that you made, J-Rob, is the other coaches, they are well aware of the gravity and the electricity that Deion is bringing. So of course, by hook or crook, they're going to latch onto it, whether they're doing it in a positive way or they're doing it in a negative way. It's still going to bring eyes. It's still going to bring some type of conversation, right? And then on top of that, it's going to increase ticket sales no matter what. Whether they're going to be on the road or they're going to be at home, it's still going to do it. Like, for example, like I'm going to say personally, for me, I haven't watched college football in a long time. This is probably the first season in probably like 5 years where I'm actively paying attention to college football in all its totality. And I would say 40% of the reason is Deion coming into that and bringing that electricity.
Right.
Right.
I mean, ultimately, too, I think what people got to realize about Deion, too, that whether it makes you upset that he didn't win a national championship yet, and so he doesn't deserve all the attention because didn't win a national championship.
Salute, Sean.
Colorado State versus Colorado. Almost 10 million people watched.
Crazy.
You know what that means? Because that was more than all the national championship games. You know what that means? The casual college football fan is tuning in to watch Colorado. And
don't even say that.
Hold on. Let me finish. Whether you care about if they won a national championship or not, if you're bringing more views to the NCAA and bringing more views, the NCAA is all good with it because guess who wins in the end? The NCAA. So they're going to let anybody come in and do their thing because that's just the nature of the beast. Go ahead, Randall.
So also don't forget, he's getting all those people who don't like somebody like Mookie who only watches the NFL, but they want to come down. Let me see what's going on here in Colorado. He's getting. I can't remember which podcast because I listened to a few sports business podcasts, and they were saying that like I'm impressed with the amount of people that say they never watch football at all. And they're watching Colorado. They only watch the NFL and they watch Colorado. People are like, you know what? Especially in the black community who are like, man, I gave up on college football a long time ago because I see the undertones of what the NCAA used to be like. And now they're back watching Colorado. You get this segment of people.
They reached another 10 million when they played Oregon. Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. This segment of people who just like gave up on college football. Now they're back. They're back. Another thing why people were mad at the hype. Every time something's new, when it was Linsanity, when it was Tebow Mania, anytime the media is always looking for something new to blow up. Y'all know this. Y'all know this.
Tebow was loved though.
Nah, Tebow was loved. He couldn't do nothing wrong. Tebow was actually Baby G's.
You know what? 10 years ago, actually, no, that's fair because 10 years ago, when Ole Miss and Mississippi State were the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time in their school's history, game day was at Ole Miss when they beat Bama that year, and then they went to Starkville to watch Mississippi State beat Auburn. First time it's ever happened. People forget. When Mississippi State was the #1 team in the country with Dak Prescott and that wide receiving core, they ate that up until they started losing. And then after that, it's just you have to understand. They're looking for a new story to drag it
or regular media. You know this. Obviously, I'm just using those examples. Obviously, Tebow was loved. Like Johnny Manziel was loved. All these people. I'm sorry I didn't have a negative one that, or maybe a more polarizing one.
Tebow was loved before he even won a national championship.
I understand that. I was just using, obviously those are examples. Y'all know this. Like this isn't new. That's why for me, I'm getting mad. Y'all acting like this is something new that Deion made up in terms of media attention. Y'all know this is new.
He was doing this to Jackson
something.
State.
Yeah, he was, and it's something that I think, especially coaches know that it could be the start of a revolution. Something that could legitimately change the face of college football as we know it. Adding on to what the NIL is already doing.
You know what? I mean, random. Sorry. You know what's new about this? I think the polarization is a little greater than anything. USC, I'm thinking of maybe they're a little point, but the polarization of Deion in Colorado, the love and the hate is strong to both.
No, it's strong. This is the craziest we've ever talked about one specific program from this lens. But this is my other thing too that I personally don't understand is like, what did people expect from this program? Like, I understand y'all want him to win because obviously I want to see them win too. Don't get me wrong. Listen, Juwan Winfrey, my co-host for Binding Means, my cousin, he went to the University of Colorado, bro. Like he's an alumni at the school. Just because I've been able to see him play there, I want him to win for him. I think it'll be good for him and his brand, just being an alumni for the school and what Deion has done. But you can't be mad. Like, I think y'all think that Colorado cares more about the attention they get than actually winning football games. And I find that to be hard to believe because of the fact that Deion is out here saying to the public, Cormani McClain, my 5-star corner, I'm not just going to play him out there to just play him. He still got to get into the – he don't watch enough film. He late to a meeting. He don't prepare enough. He still hold his players to a winning level of accountability. It may not translate to this year's win-loss record, but that shit goes a long way. Like I've seen so many college football turnarounds because that happened. UCF was one of the worst teams in college football. When I played UCF in college my first year, they were not good at all. Next thing you know, they went undefeated and beat LSU. You know what I'm saying? Like a turnaround takes a long time. The reason why the clicks are there for Colorado is because of the person who's at the helm of the university. That's what it comes from. And to sit here and act like you're so surprised by this, shows that you guys weren't hip to what was going on at Jackson State. This team was always on ESPN Plus. They were always their Shrine Bowls was always broadcast when they had their bowl games. Barstool Sports did a documentary on them, and that only comes because of who's the guy at the top. And so you can't blame somebody for being popular. I mean, this man Deion was a showman during his career, and shout out to him, because most people, they don't stay relevant this long. Like, I would argue that Shannon Sharp is more popular in his older age than when he was playing.
Absolutely.
I agree.
But also,
Absolutely.
Shannon Sharp in the social media age when he was playing, he would have been a big star.
Lord.
And let me ask you, listen, social media, those teams that I talked about earlier, them old 04, 05 USC teams, them old Hurricanes, Miami teams. If social media was big, was as big,
Jesus, Reggie,
as big.
That USC team with social media, good Lord.
The Catholics versus convicts, Notre Dame, Miami. Do you know what that would have done to the internet? It would have literally divided it in half. It's different to the era.
Did you pray today?
Did you pray today? Hold on. We got hella super chats. Hold on, let me get to some of these because I didn't get to none of them. I need to respond to what Damo and Ox said so bad. It's funny people picked CU because of Prom, but I guess they didn't know before Prom Oregon has beaten CU by average of 36 facts. In the last 10 meters, I think they only have beat them once.
Colorado has not been a good program.
In general,
they have not been a good program at all.
Right. In general, CU's going to be going back home to the Big 12 to get more dogs. Factor. I think them going to the Big 12 was going to be a great move for them. And
after they won their first national championship in 1990, after that they had a steady incline, and then when 2000 hit, their program was just going lower and lower and lower.
Also,
they've had bumps, but they've had solid season. Yeah, they have a Heisman Trophy winner.
The Big 12 moved heaven and earth to get Colorado back. Heaven and earth.
No, that was I got a lot of Big 12 news. That's what they were doing to go get that team. I'm not gonna lie. The crazy part is because they were able to get Colorado to come in with the attention they have, losing Texas and Oklahoma for them probably makes them feel like, okay, we can survive this because we have this new brand, this new big brand coming in. The haters were waiting to run out like roaches. Even this week, more roaches will come out too. Anything that's different will be criticized. I mean,
people always want to pray you down.
Some people are gonna like it, some people are not. I mean, listen, my boy Meek show with his hat on every day. I got this flag behind me every day. You gotta stay. You gotta stay loyal. It is what it is.
It's a nasty hat, though. It's a nasty hat. That's a nasty hat.
All right, it happens.
Hold on, who said that? Who the fuck said
that? The Eagles. The Eagles
fan. Yeah, Fly Eagles.
He was a Cowboys fan. I say something.
Make language. Let me get to this one. Colorado gets pushed back because of the unwarranted hype and media attention. What have they really proven to be talked about this much over teams like Oregon, Washington State, Duke, or beat 9th ranked Clemson? Well, let me answer Drink More Water's question with a question. And first of all, let me just say one thing. Shout out to the Deion effect. This is the most super chats we had in the first hour, but overkill yet.
Bringing money over here. Deion bringing money over here. That's crazy.
All right, let me get it.
Hey, Gerald, they want to hate on Deion, though, right?
They want to hate on Deion, but they're sending me the most super chats.
You paying our bills.
Let me ask Drink More Water's question with a question. Drink More Water. I see you in chats all the time. How much have you talked to us about Oregon, Washington State, or Duke?
Exactly.
When you ask us a question,
Cook, J-Rob.
Oregon, Washington State, or Duke? This is my question. Y'all care about other teams getting more attention, but y'all not even asking about these other teams.
Well, he seasoned it just right too, Grant.
Like Drink More Water instead of another.
Let's get some of that in here, and then we gotta
shout out Drink More Water though.
Shout out Drink.
Don't stop sending the chat. Yeah, don't stop sending the chat. I don't want you to stop. I want you to stop. I'm just saying. Just kind of prove my point a little bit. Bigger turnaround. Colorado this year will, with all these transfers, or Kansas last year who went 2-10 to 6. I'm actually going to go Kansas' turnaround.
I was going to say, yeah.
Kansas was a absolute. Now that's a question right there.
They actually played Texas this Saturday.
Oh man, that's going to be a good game.
Let me speak on this, J-Rob. Okay, so I went to college in Kansas, so I had firsthand knowledge of how bad futility. Like maybe we should be talking about that stretch for Kansas, maybe one of the worst stretches in college football history for a Power 5 program, to the point where they were almost fighting for a national championship. Was it 2008? they had a chance to go in 2008, and they were bad. Like selling tickets, like they were like, "Hey, come to Taco Bell and buy this meal, and you could get a pair of Kansas tickets for free." And nobody was doing that.
That's fucking
like.
wild.
Well, I'm telling you,
07 actually.
Like
07.
people going for the tailgate. People pulling up.
It was like bad.
Yeah, like let me tell you this. Like
team made like 100 point, scored 100. Like the women's team, they scored 100. I think we got like a free Frosty or something from Wendy's.
Let me tell you this, though. So like telling you, like on my bye weeks, we would go up to Kansas, you know, because you know that's they got some people over there, and we would show up to the tailgates and leave and go party and while the game's going on. Because what they gonna do? Score 7 points, get blown up by 40? Like I think what Kansas has done, we don't talk about it enough. The new coach coming in, obviously Jaden Daniels, the quarterback. Like we need to give him a lot of love because we're talking obviously. With Deion coming in, that's a bigger story because it's newer. But what Kansas has done should be commended. Like it's not just they're changing the program; they're like changing the culture of Kansas football. They're changing that, destroying old habits, getting people who fully gave up. Like the AD from my old school, diehard Kansas fan. And finally, when I was in freshman, he finally gave up. And then when you're a senior, that coach comes in, he's like, I'm going my first Kansas game in a long time. And it's different. You just feel that energy, man.
And you know why I want to piggyback off that, Random? Because, you know, I think the reason why I think Kansas's turnaround is harder than what Deion's doing in Colorado, because Colorado is going to be able to recruit way better than Kansas is because of the amount. You know, I think college sports is 90% recruiting. You know, you just gotta get dogs out there. And I think Colorado will be easier to get those guys. Like Kansas is gonna have to definitely go to the JUCOs and find those mid-major FCS, mid-major group of 5
find them
dogs,
diamond in the rough kind of players.
Yeah, you got they have to scour a little bit different. And luckily, you know, like I keep saying, the thing that created the most parity, Jalen spoke on this as well, is the transfer portal. The NIL and the portal, you know, at the end of the day, Kansas still makes a lot of money from their basketball. Because of basketball. So they'll still have a lot of money to get some players. You know, they were athletics because of how big that program's been.
Yeah, mind you, for Kansas to get
you good? Okay.
For Kansas to get an quarterback talent like Jaden Daniels is crazy. I want you guys to understand that. It's absolutely crazy they were able to swing that.
To piggyback off what Random said too, and what J-Rob said, it said when you guys were talking about Duke, when you're talking about Duke, what was the other team you're talking about that's been doing well?
Like he said, Oregon,
Washington State.
Yeah, see, so those teams, you guys, so like I see J-Rob, Random here, I see Graham, the way they get talked, y'all like real college football into it. You sitting down Saturdays watching the games. Out of the 9 million people that watch Colorado, and I'm not sitting down watching another Duke game. I'm watching like Georgia occasionally. I watch USC games.
It might be too late for him.
I'm saying, out of those 9 million fans that watch Colorado, maybe 1 million is watching Duke.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe 1 million. So that's a part of the Deion effect.
Jalen, here's the funny thing about this whole thing. Here's the funniest part about this whole thing. If you look through Open Field, there's a show, an episode titled. That's why I'm saying, like, we get reactionary. There's a show titled "The Pac-12 is the best conference in college football," and I sat here and talked up here about how Washington State, Oregon State is going to be the most loaded conference because of all these teams. That had nothing to do with college. I was giving praise to a lot of other teams. We sat here and talked about Clemson's fall from grace because they couldn't keep up. Like we've talked about these other programs. I want to make sure that has been known. Jersey love, J-Rob, since 07 with the jerseys and Dennis Dixon. And then when Chip got there, Oregon took off. Facts.
When Demaryius Thomas was there, they had these jerseys. I swear to God, I was like,
the
ones I'm talking about?
Ones with the gray trim.
Oh my! I was like, those are the ones for me.
2 Superchats. So you have 1 winning season in 2 decades. Now people complaining that they have 3 and already beating expectations.
Exactly. Like if he lose 1 game, y'all want to go out there and say, "Oh well, where's that for Deion?" But y'all don't understand. He's changing a program that has had failure after failure for years, and there are people out there. There's actually, I'm gonna say this one thing, J-Rob, before you continue, and I'm gonna make it quick. For people who think this is serious, for those of you who have been following the Colorado story, there's a 98-year-old woman named Peggy. She's a diehard Colorado fan. She and her sister are she's 98 years old. Her and her sister in the CU Legacy Hall of Fame. They went to Colorado games. They sat in the back section of section 104. They made a commitment to never leave a single game before it was over because they said if the players can't leave, we can't leave. Right. She got to meet Deion Sanders. Deion let her come on the field and be at the opening kickoff of the spring game, and she has been able to enjoy this. So people need to understand Deion. Y'all can sit there and hate, but he's not just doing this for himself. He's doing this for a community of fans.
Back to the people, the
Exactly. He's doing this for people who have sat there for years and saw this team be terrible, and now that they're actually having some sort of success, it's giving them hope that what the future can bring for this team. If like I said before, you give this team 2 or 3 years to build up with a solid recruiting class, they could be a national championship threat.
Bro, he's an
Underwood Cup.
This is an infrastructure change. Let me get to this last question before we get to the next topic, because I know I want to get to the back half of some stuff. Actually, a little bit of NFL talk, because there's some things I really want to talk about that I think are pretty interesting. So I want to hear your thoughts on.
Oh my god!
Now he put his hood on. Now you want to put his hood on.
Now you want.
Do you think Miami has a chance at FSU this year? I mean, I think it'll be a better game than it's been over the last few years. I think this won't be an actual. I think this won't feel like a rivalry game. Like really.
Miami looks
Jordan. Well, Clemson sold the end of that game, but isn't Jordan Travis? How is he health wise? Because I know he's hurt.
I mean, he might be hurt.
But he's going to play.
They went and gave him an MRI. Their shoulder swelling. I think they're going to have to do it game to game from right now. But to answer the question, Miami just looks very solid this year on both sides of the ball. They haven't really had a solid test yet because all they've played, the only teams that they've really played is Bethune-Cookman, Miami, Ohio, and they played A&M. But A&M, I kind of knew they were going to win that game.
They're getting that bye already for Jimbo.
They have to play. UNC, NC State, Georgia Tech, and Clemson and Virginia before they play Florida State. So they have a few tough games ahead. But I think this team is solid. I think if they win all those games, it's going to be a crazy game come November.
Hey Jalen, watch your mouth, man.
Hey Jalen, you wild, dog. You wild, dog.
That's me, man.
Oh my god! I just saw that comment. Why?
I'm not saying it. No, it's good. We can't say it up here. That's good. We can't say it up here. And please be mindful with the words, y'all. You know, we done had some conversations about etiquette. So just watch the words. You feel me? You could definitely just watch the F. Really, just watch the F bombs. Like if you say if you say something by accident, not a big deal. Just watch like the F bombs and the OD. You Gucci, it's all good. It's all good. And there's nobody. I'm not mad at nobody. I just want to make sure I just put it out there just so because it'll be brought back to me later. So I just want everybody to know that. All right. So let's talk about two things because there's one thing I wanted to talk about, and I'll admit it. I'd rather talk about it up here than on Gridiron because I feel like on Gridiron we push more agendas sometimes than really having a dialogue about something. And I want to talk about what's going. First thing I want to talk about is that 70-piece McNugget that got put on Sean Payton's head. And I'm gonna just say this before I give it to the floor.
He freaking deserves it.
I'm gonna say this what I'm gonna give on before I give it to the floor.
I've never seen a coach on the best coach ever like that.
And look, y'all gonna call this glaze. Sean Payton, we have took that 1.5 year media run that he went on. He should have took a page out of Deion's book with how to talk about other people. Because he went out there and on all these shows talked about all these other coaching staffs and what they weren't doing and how I would play this and how we went against this team, I'd run it like this. And what this team was doing is this, that, and the third. Chest out high, arrogant as you can be. You can smell the arrogance from his breath. Smells like he was drinking the night before, how arrogant he was. And I will say, as somebody who thought maybe he could fix Russ, I did not think. I mean, it's still Sean Payton. I'm not mad about that. But I will say this part of the whole situation. To say what you said about Nathaniel Hackett, who I also don't think will be the OC, who I also don't think needs to be the OC for the Jets. And I look at, you had a lot to say about the job he was doing for that team. You gave up the second most points in NFL history. You understand that? The team that you're coaching. And you always had so much arrogance. So, and if your name wasn't Sean Payton, I think you might have been fired, bro, to be honest. Like
if that was Nathaniel Hackett last year, he's getting fired.
I want you to understand, I'm going to tell you right now. If I'm the owner of an NFL team and my head coach comes out there and drops, the second most points in NFL history with 9 minutes left in the game, mind you. But with 8 minutes left in the game, they could have got 100 on us.
Pink slip.
I will see you. Listen. you can retire gracefully, brother. I don't know what you want to do. Step down. Listen, we'll stretch the contract out. We'll pay you over the next 20 years or whatever.
How do you want it? Severance back? What do you want?
Yeah, like we'll cut the contract. We'll make sure you get paid. You're still your due. But you can't that's something I can't put my money behind. So with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts on that whole situation.
Oh yeah, let me get in on this, man.
Here we go.
Let him cook.
First things first, I'm a Dolphins fan, right? This has been a long time coming for a fan like me who has seen my team be dog shit.
So were you the one getting wild in the Discord?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, he was getting wild.
He was.
Let's go, baby.
Listen. I'm 20.
Discord,
I'm 20 right now. I'm 20 right now. I've been a fan since I was 8, 9-ish years old, right? So I see my team be ass.
Yeah, the Wildcat was like the peak for him.
Man,
damn.
Yeah, that was like
Wildcat.
Again, no cap.
Finish. Go ahead, Lewis.
But this game is very bittersweet.
Why?
Because Mike McDaniel, I don't know if bittersweet's the word, but correct me if I'm whatever.
No, you good.
Mike McDaniel being our head coach, I love him.
Yeah,
and to see what Denver did last offseason, taking Sean Payton and not wanting to give him a chance. They didn't want to give Mike McDaniel a chance. They declined him to interview him. Crazy. And not to mention, like you said, J-Rob, for over a damn year, Sean Payton, specifically about Tua, and I've been a Tua supporter. I wanted my boy to succeed. Specifically about Tua, to disrespect him on national television and say Teddy Bridgewater is going to take the starting role from Tua. And then to come into this game, not only did you get a 70-piece dropped on your ass by Tua, but Tua threw 4 touchdowns, 2 with his left and 2 with his right.
Did he say that last year? Wait, did he say that last year? Did he say that last year?
I said if Mahomes did that, they'd be still glazing him right now.
Let's be honest, he was glazing him.
They still be glazing Mahomes
on top of that,
right now.
We did that without Jalen Waddle. Barrios moved in at the number 2.
Waddle's cooking right now.
Listen, I'm not gonna be a crazy fan and obviously say we're gonna go all the way. I ain't like that. But Sean Payton, I hope he eats his words, bro, and I hope he's crying to this day. I saw that interview, bro. I saw that interview where he was like, "Oh, it was an embarrassing loss," and they keep asking him. He had an attitude. Yeah, I have an attitude too. If I told another organization they should get rid of Tua and he drops a 70 bomb on my ass, I'll be mad too.
You know what's even crazy about this? How you get beat by your own ball boy?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the crazy thing. He was the ball boy on the Broncos.
I was asking if he did that, if he said what he said about them last season. But the biggest
turn your cam on, Gabe. Turn your cam on. We need cam.
The biggest.
Yes,
sir. W open field 2 on the screen.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Go ahead, finish. Lewis. You done?
Go,
JJ.
I was about to finish it off, man. It just feels good. Denver, thank you for giving us our head coach. Thank you for lighting the fire. Thank you for lighting a fire under Tua and that first round pick you gave up for Sean Payton.
Let JJ go first. Go, JJ.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I didn't get to watch it, but guess what? I rewatched it, right? So I didn't get to watch it live, but I knew what happened, so it don't hit the same of knowing what happened.
Right.
Boy, I'm not gonna front, boy. Even if Sean Payton said that last year, he got to eat them words, boy. I'm not gonna front.
You got to.
Bro, J-Rob, my dog Max, the funniest nigga in the Discord, right? Come in here and say, he gonna say, if I got 70 jumped on me, bro, you know what's the law? You gotta go see me in the parking lot, bro.
Everything. Hey, yo, come on. Really understand that because it's like 70 points in college football is one thing. You see that all the time. But to score 70 points in an NFL game,
you gotta see me in the parking lot. Hasn't been I'm on the Denver Broncos defensive line. I'm telling you right now. Hey, Devon A. Chain.
Like 50, like 5 years
Devon
ago.
A. Chain, bro. Come on, bro. You want to say you want
to. If I'm the owner. The owner of the Broncos is the owner of Walmart. If I'm the owner, like, yo, you ain't showing, like, I would sit him down and be like, are you playing me right now? Like, I don't have to really ask him, but hold on, Dad. I want Gabe to go. This is his team. I need Gabe to get his moment off. This is his team. Let Gabe go. This is his team.
Expand the screen. Let my man cook.
I'll let him cook.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead and let yourself cook.
I'm about to start pushing shit because I swear to God, I was watching that game, bro. And I look down and I look back up and I'm like, bro, we scored again? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Nah, I swear to God.
There's just no way you got 200 yards on 18 rushes, 8 TDs between two running backs.
When Tua made that, I swear when Tua made that first shuffle pass, bro, confirmed. He's top 7 in the NFL. I don't care what nobody say. He's better. And for y'all that push that Trevor Lawrence stuff, he's better than Trevor Lawrence, bro. He's like, stop. Y'all better stop.
I'm not mad at it.
Tua playing great.
The only reason y'all don't want to like go with that is because he don't play the whole season. This man is one of the most accurate QBs in the NFL, and the only y'all he can't throw 70-yard bombs, bro. Y'all gotta stop with that shit. I hate people that talk anyway. I was critical about that. I was critical about that at first. He's one of the best decision makers in the NFL. And to go on top of that, bro, oh my God, Devin A-Chain, Mostert, oh my God, bro, Javon Hargrave,
I ain't gonna hold you. That Dolphins wide receiving core went off.
Oh, you saw what Robbie Chosen did at PS2.
Bro,
yes,
exactly.
Other than what Robbie did, PS2 is still the best player in the league.
JJ, hold on, JJ. Random. I know you had
when Mike White is dropping back, and I'm like, oh hell no.
The Jets fan is hard to watch that play.
Deep. Bro, I'm okay. Maybe because I got multiple TVs, so I'm watching the Dolphins game on one screen, and I got Red Zone on the other, right? So I'm trying to keep up. But Red Zone's like, hey, I know we're trying to show you what's going on over here, but the Dolphins just scored again. And it's like Red Zone was struggling. The one thing I wanted to mention for Gabe and Louis too,
Red Zone couldn't keep up.
Red Zone could not keep up. This is what I'm saying. Maybe the biggest addition to the Dolphins this year is that defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. That defense, watch as the season goes on, that defense could look very good.
He the Broncos?
He was on the Broncos. So here's the story. Here's the story real quick. So Sean Payton gets hired, right?
Right.
And he did everything he could. He glazed Vic Fangio as much as he could to get him on the squad. But what happened? Vic Fangio just got fired by the Broncos. So why the hell would he go back? And I'm telling you, you can go ask Sean Payton himself. You can go ask Colin Cowherd. He was telling the story too. Sean Payton did everything he could to get Vic Fangio to come back. And he said no. Crazy you went with Vance Joseph, who also got fired by the Broncos, but that's a whole nother story. And Vic Fangio doing the same thing Sean McVay did when Sean McVay gets hired by the Rams. Who was the first hire he did? Wade Phillips. So he has somebody who knows, who's a veteran, who can manage the defense so that he can focus on getting his quarterback right. Vic Fangio could be the biggest addition, not just obviously for Miami, but maybe for the season. If that defense is good enough, there's talent. They got a shutdown corner. Bradley Chubb's there. He was making noise yesterday. Obviously, maybe because he maybe played a little extra because obviously he got traded by Denver.
One of the most underrated.
Oh, Bradley Chubb's in the Dolphins now.
He's on the Dolphins. Yeah. He got traded there last year.
I think one of the most underrated players on the defensive side of the football in the entire league is Andrew Van Ginkel. The past 2 weeks, he's gone ballistic. He's gone ballistic, bro. Forced fumbles, tackles, PFLs, everything.
That team's nice. And I asked one question yesterday, J-Rob. I asked one question, and I sat there. I was like, I need somebody to tell me why I cannot say, besides the 49ers, Miami's the best team in football.
That's not bad to say. That's not crazy to say right now.
I need and the same thing. And
right now, it's not
Tua's the best quarterback in the league. As of right now, Tua's the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, see, no, he's not.
I agree.
He's playing the best.
Listen.
He's playing the best.
Yo, he can say numbers. He's playing the best right now. But he's not better than Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm better. As long as Patrick Mahomes is yesterday, tell me right now, Tua's playing the best, and he has the best team in football.
He's not the best quarterback in the league, though.
He's not the best quarterback. Outside of Mahomes, I'm not putting.
Time out. Wait.
All right, listen. I love Tua, but hold on. I'm not putting him over Joe Burrow. Like, come on, let's.
I'm not putting over Lamar Jackson. I'm not putting over Josh Allen. I'm not putting over.
Don't say that too loud. Mookie gonna come in here and start a war.
Every time I see, I know he's a gamer, but every time I see him drop back, and I know his calf and whatever, and we hope him that the worst doesn't happen. But obviously, you risk it every time you get on the field. But my goodness, man. Joe Burrow, I'm scared to tell right now. I'm scared to tell for Joe Burrow.
I'm not letting 3 games make me say Tua's that good. I get it.
I don't think we should judge like any position like from year by year.
Obviously, like I'm just saying, Tua's playing the best right now. That's all I'm saying.
But also
playing the best.
Tua playing better than Joe
Burrow. I want to give a shout out. My fault.
Fucking Joe Burrow. Fuck is wrong with this dude?
You can't talk with Daniel Jones.
Tua definitely played better than.
That's what he said, though. He didn't say he was better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I said Tua's playing the best. That's what I said.
Now, here's my second question to the panel about NFL question. Chicago Bears. Now, I look at the history of the quarterback position at the program, and I know a lot of people say Justin Fields is not good. And I know that a lot of y'all know I'm an Ohio State guy, so you'll say, J-Rob, you biased because you like Ohio State quarterbacks. But let me ask y'all this. Is going to play offense for the Chicago Bears the worst situation for any young player?
Yes.
Yes,
I think that entire team is a mess, bro. Coaching, quarterback,
living off the 80s. They glorify the 85 Bears.
The Bears right now are a leaderless, rudderless, complete organizational failure.
You need a complete culture change for them. The Bears still glorify the 85 Bears, and I got no problem with you glorifying one of the greatest defenses of all time,
if not the greatest.
Yeah. So
and the thing is,
hold on.
Let him finish, Dad. Let him finish.
Right. So obviously, you have an old school. We have an old school owner who just doesn't understand that outdated. The NFL has changed. You need to support your quarterback. The fact that the best quarterback in your franchise history is arguably Jay Cutler is a problem.
That's a problem.
The fact that let's just even say Jordan Love becomes a mid quarterback. He's Dak Prescott. It is a fantastic run of quarterbacks that the Packers have had. 2 Hall of Famers and a mid quarterback. That is incredible. And even the Lions understand they're giving Jared Goff all he can so that he's successful. The Vikings have had better quarterbacks historically than the Bears. You need to update how you play the game. Running the ball don't work no more. Having a great defense is you can have.
You have to have both. You have to be able to
have the thing is with Chicago.
Wait. Let him finish.
Until you change how that owner thinks.
And then Dev got to go next.
Until you change how that owner thinks for real. And ironically, I think the only way that happens is when, ironically, I don't want to say nothing, but the ownership gets passed down. That's all I'm going to say. Until that culture is completely changed, nothing's going to happen. They lost on the field and they lost at home, and they was even there. Somebody broke in and stole $100,000 worth of equipment while they was getting their asses whipped in Kansas City. Like, I don't understand how you could just sit there. No, nobody can. No, y'all can say they need people. Nobody's coming in there and fixing that until the owner understands how the game has changed. Nothing's going to go there. Justin Fields, you could say Justin Fields is a problem and he's a bust, and I can't defend that. But he's also not getting the right coaching. He's not. Justin Fields is bad, but he's not supported either. It's like they just refuse. It's like they're still stuck in horse and buggy days, and everybody else out here driving hybrids and electric cars.
Go ahead.
I can't do nothing with that. You can't do anything with that.
Go ahead.
Before I talk to the Bears, I just want to give a shout out to Nate Dawson. He was at the Dolphins game. He got to witness history, so shout out to him.
And I should take that field goal. I'm not gonna lie.
And first of all, I agree with Random said, because like the Bears team as a whole isn't just Justin Fields' fault. This defense is trash. Their O-line is trash. They got DJ Moore, but Chase Claypool's still a problem. And the offense, and we seen Justin Fields call out the coach. Like we seen last season, they're not building off the success they gave that we saw Justin Fields had from the second half of the season, and that's an issue. And they kind of revert back. Yes, Justin Fields missing reads that game of Tampa Bay was bad, but still, I think he's living with ghosts from how bad the offensive line was.
It was egregious.
He's not getting supported. There's no development.
And now it kind of seems like I do gotta ask: were we too hard on Mitchell Trubisky?
No, yes, we were, because this is where I'm about to cook this, because I've been waiting to talk about this for 5 years. This whole Bears organization is a complete, absolute failure, because we look at the history with this team. They had Mitch Trubisky, right? They didn't believe in him. They had Matt Nagy come in. He didn't do anything with Mitch Trubisky. Then they tried to go get Nick Foles, completely ruined Trubisky, and Nagy wasn't even attached to the guy the way that John Fox had been. They didn't believe him at all, and they tried to, like I said, bring in Nick Foles. Absolutely ruined Mitch Trubisky that he had it being a decent quarterback in his position. They tried to move on instead of getting rid of the coach and starting all over again. They draft Justin Fields, give Matt Nagy one more year for no reason when everyone knew they had no chance. Then they fired. Now they brought in another coach. who had no allegiance to the quarterback, and now they want to go to another place. So what does that add up to? It adds up in the last 5 years, 2 first-round quarterbacks who came in with a lot of potential and needed good coaching and got none of it. So Justin Fields may or may not have been destined to be a great NFL quarterback, but he has been given absolutely no chance.
You can't trust
and if he can't say it, because that's a quarterback's unwritten code, someone's got to say it. They are going to ruin him because of complete organizational failure, and that whole place is a dumpster fire. I was watching this game, and it's just like watching. Like, I thought I've seen teams be worse teams happen in this league, but this is the 3rd week of the season, and people are out here saying that the Bears were like wanting to throw Justin Fields down the.
Yeah. No, I understand. His confidence is probably shot.
But to be really honest with you, last thing, I don't blame Justin Fields. Everything that this team is doing is wrong, and this is only a slim portion of his fault.
Is cooking right now.
I mean, but it's like, what are we gonna say?
You can't assess a quarterback fairly.
Go JJ. Go ahead, JJ. Rebuttal.
You could have cooked, but still not be able to still assess what the talent was, bro. At the end of the day, you don't draft Mitch Trubisky at 2. I don't care about what y'all saying about his potential.
I understand that part, but that's not his fault.
Mitch Trubisky, even at his best, is still not going to be it. Mitchell Trubisky at his best is still not lacing Deshaun Watson's boots.
Let me ask you,
they're not winning with that.
They would have ruined him too. They would have ruined him too.
Let me ask you this, JJ. My question to you is this: Mitchell. It's not Mitchell Trubisky's fault it's nobody's fault where they get drafted at.
That's fine. You're right.
Let me ask you this question. Though. I'm gonna name 3 guys. All could have possibly went to the Bears over the past few years. If Mahomes, Watson, or this year Bryce Young were at the Chicago Bears, would their careers be what they are today? Do you think?
Mahomes,
if Bryce Young is to be determined.
I'll answer that.
But the Bears wouldn't be
exactly. I was gonna say Bryce Young most definitely is to be determined. Either way, no matter which way we spin it right now.
Yeah, that's still too.
I don't know how I feel about either right now.
Yes,
Carolina, I have more faith in. That's just I'll tell you that right now.
Same. Me too.
Deshaun Watson. No, actually, let me go to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is another anomaly in my eyes.
Yeah.
You go to he went to Kansas City, and we did not know this man was gonna be who he became at all.
I agree.
So if he even left Kansas, if he went somewhere else, who's to say that this man wouldn't have been one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history? That's all I'm saying.
He might have just been great wherever he possibly would have went.
It could have been either way. I don't know.
Hold on, random. Another quarterback, Deshaun though.
But Deshaun Watson, specifically in my eyes, was already NFL ready as it was, right? You go and send him into that system with the Bears. I don't think he underperforms at what he does in Houston. I feel like he was the most sure in my eyes to still have been able to succeed with them, even if they were like losing games. I think
Bill O'Brien versus Matt Nagy as a play caller.
Play calling is going to be a big thing, but at the end of the day, I don't think Matt Nagy's leash would have been way shorter though. At the same time,
I agree. But let me ask you this: if Justin Fields is drafted 3rd to the 49ers, what are we talking about him right now? Do you think it's a different conversation?
All right, so can I break it down a little bit? Can I break it down a little bit further before?
I'm really picking your brain on this, JJ. I think this Bears thing is deeper than people are really leading on.
Yeah. And I want to break it down just a little bit. I do want to break it down just a little bit, just sending back to who Justin Fields was before this, right? We knew who Justin Fields was in college. This man, not college, but in high school. This man's a dog. You feel me? We already knew that. When he got into college, bro, at UGA, bro, no one was expecting him not to play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the same time, like they were expecting him to be there at least in the second year. They knew he was going to be a starter, right?
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't with that. He was trying to.
He was ready to play right now, though. He was ready to play.
So he went to Ohio State. And in my eyes, right? And this is no flack to Ohio State, Gerard, because I can't blame Ohio State for doing what they do, right? But they have one of the best offense. They have one of the best offenses in general. Whenever you for a quarterback, in the last years where he went when he stepped in that, he had one of the best offenses when he stepped into that. Right?
He had like 40 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions.
He balled out
exactly. The year before and so of course you're gonna ball out. And I want you if you do anything less in the sense of not being able to ball in that system, I have a problem with you as a player now too. Right. But Justin Fields played.
But couldn't you use that argument for like the Oklahoma quarterbacks and
I can. I'm saying I'm not. My point is, it's not even about what they're
no,
doing.
only because you brought up the high power offenses. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, because now players that step in the high power offenses, you have a
So
higher
wasn't P.
expectation.
Holmes
I
at,
think,
wasn't
in my
P.
eyes,
Holmes
if
at
you
Texas
step in there
Tech?
and you underperform, like Spencer Rattler
Texas
underperforming
Tech,
when he was at Oklahoma, when Spencer Rattler was not playing up to who they thought he was at first, that was that you're
your
gonna get
expectations are different at bigger schools.
exactly.
Yes, 100%.
So I Justin Fields going in there, I didn't expect him to play any less than what he did, right?
Right.
But my issue is because I said the same thing about Stroud, but Stroud has been able to prove this, right? And which is why it's gonna lead him back to the San Francisco thing if he went there. But when Justin Fields, and I know you watched his tape, but when Justin Fields was playing there, this nigga's one read post processing was evident ever since there. Ever since there. And you can work that out of a quarterback even at the NFL level. That's easy. That's not easy.
I think a lot of coaching matters though.
Exactly, but you can work that out. But the thing that people even get on him to this day on the Bears, bro, he's staring down his receiver. I mean, I don't know why y'all trying to act like that wasn't something that y'all didn't see, that they were supposed to take out of his game.
Then
That's
what's the difference between him and CJ Stroud? What do you think the biggest difference is between him and CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud at the college level. It wasn't only the one read. Well, even in the offense, it's easy just to make it one read. It's easy to say, I got Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. I can easily just JSN. I don't have to stare. I don't have to look at the rest of my niggas to know that he's gonna get open. I got 7 seconds, 8 days in the pocket, right? Justin Fields does not have that luxury because he went to a team with a horrible line and they didn't have the weapons that he could do the same thing with. So he's still stuck on that mindset of, oh well, let me look at Darnell Mooney run a drag. No, my pocket.
But I do think there's an idea that
he wasn't given anything to succeed, and then people are going to look at him and want to blame him.
About San Francisco, real quick. To answer your question about San Francisco,
and then Gabe, go right after random.
He goes under Kyle Shanahan. Honestly speaking, because he's in a better situation, and those type of things, when you ease a quarterback in, he will be able to be more successful, clearly in general. But Kyle Shanahan will be able to make him a more successful quarterback in that situation than what they did on the Bears. Because that's just
before random four, this is my only thing I want to say about the Justin Fields thing, and this is why, like, when people say like, but Justin Fields can't do this, he can't do that, he can't do that. I'm cool to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of these people that has this like delusional idea of what Justin Fields is right now. My whole thing with Justin Fields has been, I've seen quarterbacks who have had like what you talked about, inability to read, or maybe only been able to get through 1 or 2 pieces of a progression. But I also watched Josh Allen for 2 years, 3 years before he got Stephon Diggs. He was a project. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And when you have a project, you have to, one, obviously be able to do what they're good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to put you in situations to do what you're good at. But then, obviously, as you're developing, as we watch the film, we're going to allow you to get better at your weaknesses. And this is the thing I feel about the Bears right now, JJ. And this is why, like, I hate this for Justin, because I just think he got drafted to a place that didn't give him the best weapons to succeed. And I look at Jared Goff with Jeff Fisher. You understand? Like, I think the way we look at Jared Goff and the way we probably could have looked at him in his career would have been different if he didn't go to a Rams team with a notorious quarterback killer on their team. For example, when they played the Chiefs, I'm gonna tell you 3 glaring things in my eyes that showed more than enough to say that this kid needs help and he needs some things he needs to improve on. But these guys on the sideline are not doing anything to make it better for him.
Job either. And
so
that's
true. And the thing is, it's the thing. 2 things can always be true.
Exactly.
2 things can always be true.
Oh, you saw what I was gonna say.
Yeah. No, my bad. 2 things can always be true, because I look at it like this. When I watch the tape, right? Y'all, everybody up here would admit Chris Jones probably one of the 5 best defensive players in the league right now. Chris Jones, defensive tackle for. So if you have one of the 5 best players in the league from the defensive end, would you block them one-on-one with your center and guards?
No.
Hell no.
No, right? Because you will get whooped.
That's what happened with the Bengals in the Super Bowl when they tried doing that with AD.
Ask the Bengals about Aaron Donald. You can't solo up a freak show, right? So that's my one thing.
Right.
You got the best defensive player literally wrecking the game from an upfront standpoint because you can't get a block. That's 1. 2, how many design runs did they run for Justin Fields when they played the Chiefs in the first half? 1. One. A guy who rushed for what? What did he rush for? 1,400 yards last year? 1,200 yards? So he couldn't get one design run to keep it honest. I see the Cardinals running all type of RPO read options with Joshua Dobbs, allowing him to utilize his legs and his arm. Putting him in situations that does what's best for him. And that's the coaching aspect. And then obviously I know when people looked at that play where the guy's right up the seam, wide open. But I'm gonna say that I know that was a bad. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Real quick. Actually, because you see that play, because I'm not gonna go too on that play. There was actually not only the seam was open, but because there was 3 routes that he could have hit. But when you break it down, it's like, okay, I can see why you didn't throw one, but there was still 2 other guys he should have been able to hit on that.
But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I think what I think. And Justin Fields tried to tell y'all this, but y'all thought he was just blaming his coach.
Yeah, y'all thought he was blaming his coach.
I've been overcoached before. I played corner in college, and when you play corner and defensive back, you switch coverages. You have to understand if a coverage changes based off a formation, your responsibility changes based off an alignment. If somebody motions, and when you're a young player, especially even going from high school to college, like that was difficult for me. And I played nickel, so my freshman year I was playing nickel. So I'm seeing it a lot, and I'm having to digest this information. And sometimes I almost, you can get robotic because of it. And I think at times, Justin Fields, when he dropping back, JJ, when I look at that play, it looked like he went from one read to another read, just playing on the instinct of, all right, my one read is there. Who else is open? I got time in his pocket. I got enough time, but he's trying to, if I check this box off, this box off, this box off, this box off, then we get there. And I think the biggest thing that they didn't do when this new staff came in, Random, you could clean it up after me, is JJ. When you watch film, right? Let's say you was my D tackle or something, for my team, right? And I'm getting you from another program. When I'm gonna look at the tape, JJ, the first thing I'm gonna do is see what is he great at.
Thank you. Thank the Lord.
Can he take on a double team? Is he good in exotic stunts?
He's tailing all our stuff.
Is he quick enough to be quick in stunts? How can I get him in as many
holding all the points, Jay. You holding all the points, my guy.
But let me. I still got more. Don't worry
about it. As many favorable matchups as I could put you in, and then JJ, I'm going to look at the film. I'm going to cut on everything you're not great at. Right? He needs to be better with his hands.
Right.
He needs to be more explosive in these situations. On run defense, when he's in run defense, he can't shoot a gap because he's messing up other players.
Right.
Things that I can coach out of you. You know what I'm saying? Things I could really coach, but I still got to keep your confidence high, putting you in situations where you still stunting, where you still being able to be yourself. And then we're going to add these other things to fix what you're not capable of. And I think with Justin Fields, it happens when you get multiple different coaching philosophies at once. It's hard to be able to it's hard to digest all of that at once if you're not being put in situations not only to make you comfortable, to make you go. And I don't think the Bears did a good job of that. Okay. Let Random go, and then Gabe, you still want to go next?
Yeah, I got.
All right, so then Gabe, then me. Is that cool? Me?
Okay, yeah.
Right, y'all didn't skip me this long. Fuck.
Yeah.
Did I skip you? Did I skip you before?
The whole.
Did you raise your hand? For real? No, I called you. And you wasn't on this camera. I said.
Yeah. That's why. All right, go.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, go. Obviously, I agree with you about Mahomes, him being an anomaly. But if he goes to the Bears, we're talking about
the same player, bro.
He's not. We're not talking about him as potentially the GOAT, the greatest player of all. We're not talking about him.
Also speaking to that, you still don't. I just can't. I honestly cannot tell you.
Osmos.
Yeah, but we're not even that word and Mahomes. We're not even being the same strategy.
I could have said that if he was on the Chiefs, though. That's
go
I was saying that when he. Well, no, we weren't. We were not saying that when he was on the Chiefs. Is my point. So like,
go.
I don't even want to talk about Mahomes because that's just. That's a whole.
That's what I'm saying. Though. That's what I'm saying. Though. We will be talking about the carry job that Patrick Mahomes will be doing, and a whole bunch of players who know the NFL, who have been around that thing, will be talking about. They're doing him dirty. Everything we're watching with Mahomes is him just figuring it out. No, the problem with the Bears is we've seen it repeatedly with now 2 first-round quarterbacks, and dear God, it's going to be another one because they're probably going to let go of Justin Fields. Is the fact that nobody came in and said, even when you compare him to CJ Stroud, that CJ Stroud was clearly more of a finished product. When you just watch CJ Stroud plays, he just knows where to go with the football. He just does.
Right. But he's been that since high school too.
He's been like that since high school.
Look,
hold on, Gilded. Let me finish, please.
Let him finish, JJ.
So when you look at Justin Fields, what was the number one thing we said? He needs coaching. He needs to be coached up. And dear God, I'm willing to say that if maybe he went to the 49ers instead of the Bears, we might not know who Brock Purdy is, because we know what Kyle Shanahan does to help his quarterbacks out. If that means the first couple years, Justin Fields is running his ass off and he got a team around him and he eventually becomes better as a passer. But if you refuse, how many offensive coordinators has Justin Fields had already? How many? This is his third year, right? How many?
Probably three then. Three at this
probably
point.
Three. And none of them walk in.
Year, right?
Yeah, none of them walk in and they're all like, I'm trying to put in my system. And so, if you know what the best coaches do, the best ones do, they're like, okay, I have Justin Fields. And like J-Rob said, what does he do well? Jesus Christ, when this man's in open space with the football, he is a problem. So let's work on that. And then we can work on everything else too. But they refuse to do that. The fact that they were giving Justin Fields MVP talk or MVP odds is ridiculous. Well, if you refuse to, and now we're sitting here, now I have to, as much as me and Mookie argued last week, we're sitting there, hey, please, Mookie, I get that he's not making the reads, but he's not even getting the coaching to even try to make the reads.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there. Okay, I just got to check off the box before I can run. He doesn't have to.
And so that's what I wanted to elaborate on that point.
Hold on, JJ. We got to get back to it because I want Gabe and Meek to go too. I want Gabe and Meek to go. We should be doing that. I want to be able to everybody go.
Yeah, let me.
Meek, I still want you to go too.
This is my last point. This is my last point. Obviously, who knows what would have for real happened if he went to the 49ers. But I know damn sure that whether it's the 49ers, the Chiefs, all these other places, even you can even say with Bill Belichick, what does he do? He tries to make sure that the quarterback is at least progressing somehow, that he doesn't put him in harm's way, that he lets the quarterback at least try to figure the game out. Kyle Shanahan would have done his damnedest to make sure Justin Fields played. And that's why when they gave up with when they sent Trey Lance to Cowboys, I was like, oh, Kyle Shanahan did everything he could because he would not have let him go. He did, because we've seen him trot out CJ Beathard. We saw him trot out a whole bunch of other no-name quarterbacks, and he figured it out with them. Even at least those guys were serviceable.
Right.
Justin Fields has been done wrong.
So I have a question, Jake.
Wait, text. Let's get these. Let's go, Gabe.
So I'm gonna
my fault.
That earlier, like, because you was gonna say what I said first, like,
bro, gotta be crying, bro.
Like, we did it a lot in sports where we try to pick and choose a side, whichever wrong is wrong, and whichever one doesn't like tries to cancel that out. But two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
I was gonna say I'm gonna look at it from like an outside lens because if y'all know me, I don't know too much football. So I'm gonna try to look at the outside lens. He's how old? He's only 24, right?
Justin.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. He's still young, but
so let's say
he posted up, man. Jeff posted up, ready for a photo shoot. I'm telling y'all that side view.
2K right now. Bro.
Dev got it. I have
it. Hold up. Is that his freaking?
Hold on, no. Let me get it posted. Do that pose again.
Bro, I was posing hard as hell, bro.
Do that pose again, Dev.
I can't do it now.
Go ahead, Gabe.
I'm just listening while I get it off.
Finish up, Gabe.
All this coaching has, like, let's say hypothetically, he never like becomes a better QB in the things that he's bad at. Should he ever at one point consider a position change? Because I hear people talk about like he'll be a good running back, this and that. Like,
well,
if
he has the legs to do it.
He has the legs.
That's a complete failure on his
coaching. But the problem is, Gabe, though, it's not like I haven't seen a bunch of quarterbacks like convert to wide receiver and just have good careers. Like, there's only a handful. The ones that I can think of off the rip are like Braylon Edwards, Randall Cobb, and Terrell Pryor and Taysom Hill. But it's
say
so
maybe Julian Edelman.
In perspective, though, Gabe is like 1%. You know, like that transition doesn't happen for everybody. So just ultimately, he do have the athleticism to change positions. I just don't know if changing his position would still give you something. The best thing for him. Go ahead, Meek.
Now I get everything y'all saying, bro. But I could say the same shit for the same stuff for Daniel Jones.
Oh my god!
Bad.
No, I'm not. I'm not mad at that.
Thing
No,
is,
let him go. Let him go.
Daniel
Let him go.
Jones-
Let him go. Let him go.
Daniel Jones has shown promise. It's games where he showed he could be a franchise quarterback, but we ignore it because of the names, bro. Names make narratives.
Brad Smith.
Daniel
That's what I'm talking
Jones.
about. Go ahead.
Daniel Jones was a top quarterback coming out of college, and not only the Giants thought that, bro, he wouldn't be getting as much hate as he is. Just like Justin Fields. All these excuses y'all making, come on.
You're not.
Come on, bro.
I don't got a problem with Daniel Jones.
Hold on, but hold on.
He's just not good in my opinion.
Can I rebuttal? Now,
He's just not good in my opinion.
I'll
die on that.
But me, can I say the one thing that you're egregiously not acknowledging? Because if you've heard me on Player's Choice, I've said about Daniel. I've been harsh on Daniel Jones, but I've also said you can quote me on this one. It was hard to evaluate Daniel Jones because of the lack of offensive weapons and the dumpster fire that was the Giants. Yep. Now, this past year, what was the significant change for Daniel Jones last year? What did he get that showed his progress? That helped. What happened to him? Helped him show his show that he can potentially be a guy. And the only reason, I will say this: the only reason people were hard on Daniel Jones, we were hard on Daniel Jones because Trent was up here saying he was top 10 at his position. And I think that was a hard conversation for people.
I didn't never say no.
You never said that. No, you never said that.
I know you never.
But let me ask you this though: what's been the biggest difference for Daniel Jones over the last 2 seasons, this year and last year? What's the biggest difference?
The coaching.
Dable.
Yeah.
I think that's two of the biggest reasons.
And with that being, and let me ask you a follow-up question before you go. Where else have we seen Dable be successful with quarterbacks? Who else?
In Buffalo, Josh Allen. The same type of quarterback.
Right. That's exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's my point. You have you had an OC that knew how to maximize a guy that needed a few tweaks. Because I don't think Daniel Jones was good at reading defenses at the start because he turned the ball over a lot. Josh Allen was not good at reading defenses a lot. But what did Dable do for Josh Allen and DJ? What did we learn about DJ last year that he could do that people didn't really know? That boy can really run the football. Josh Allen, that boy can really run the football. And so Dable put them boys in situations where they're not going to have to do too much examination of the field. And he put them in situations to be great. Dable was a lifesaver for Daniel Jones because if Brian Dable doesn't come in, bro, y'all not paying him $40 million a year. Keep going.
He might be out the league. I'm not going to lie.
I would say out the league.
With that change, though, after last season, you see the improvement, bro. People are just looking at his stats. People are looking at the wrong stats, bro. Y'all looking at touchdowns.
Yeah. He was managed more than anything. Just in my opinion, he's not good. He's just not good in my opinion.
Touchdown to turnover ratio, bro. You got to look deep.
I agree with you.
No, I have looked at Daniel Jones.
I thought he was great. And in that Cardinals game, bro, he looked great.
Yeah, last year played well.
My issue is prove it year. Now this year, him not performing.
Nah, I think this the prove it year.
I still can say the O-line is bad, bro, but he should definitely be playing way better than he was last.
But I will say this, bro. But I will
if you're
say this,
paying him that much money in that situation, and he's not performing at that level, it's just for me. It's like, why would you give him this much money if you were going to expect this?
The thing is, as much as we were critical of the Giants organization for how they drafted Daniel Jones and how they handled it, you can always change the rhetoric on yourself if you can fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I'll give you two spot-on examples. One, the Lakers this year, 2-10 start, looked like a dumpster fire. Everybody talking about Rob Pelinka don't know what he's doing as general manager. They make a heck of a trade at the deadline, and then you have people saying he might need to be executive of the year because not many people can pull off a Band-Aid fix like that in such a limited amount of time.
Darvin Ham can't coach.
That man really saved his own legacy.
Saved his own legacy in one or two.
Bro, in a matter of like months, bro.
In months, exactly. Again, here's another example. The Shanahans up in San Francisco. That trade for Trey Lance, the things that they gave up to go up 3 to get Trey Lance, was one of the worst trades in NFL history. One of the worst.
Bad.
But
my God.
But why don't we talk about it? Because Purdy ended up being good, and they have a fix, and so because it doesn't affect the win or loss column, there's a, you know what I'm saying? Like those things get swept under the rug. And so
can I ask a question?
Dable, go ahead.
Now, since we gave Justin Fields this hypothetical, given what you've seen Daniel Jones in his highs, if you draft Daniel Jones to the 49ers with the team they have, you
he'll
cannot
be a better. I think
he'll be a better quarterback.
He would be a better quarterback.
Bro, he might be a top 10 quarterback within that situation. Yes,
but
yes.
I don't think so.
But Meek, you also know that what would Kyle Shanahan do with Daniel Jones? He would let Daniel Jones be the runner that he be able to run the ball and put him in better situations. How much play action passes would Daniel Jones got to make? 1 or 2 reads off a rollout. Things that he can stomach early. You know, that's been my whole thing about it, bro. It's like Daniel Jones has had a coach come in and say, look, I know we don't got great receivers around you. I know your O-line is not that great, but you got this great running back, and we're going to utilize your legs in the run game as well to give us that second runner. And then on passing situations, it's going to be a lot of play action, RPO. Not because we don't think you can digest a lot, but we want some of these throws to be easier because you know how it goes too, Meek, when it comes to quarterbacks. You start hitting your first few, it's like a jump shooter. You get into a rhythm now. You get comfortable. I don't think the Bears can put Justin Fields in places to just be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like ultimately, like I feel like I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I seen I think Justin Fields in Desmond Ritter's position, he would look different. I think Justin Fields if he was switched with Trey Lance, would look like a different quarterback. I even think, but believe me, I know this is gonna sound crazy. They're gonna say I'm a Zach Wilson hater. Zach Wilson, Meek, has had all year to sit behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers. We gave him two great running backs. You have wide receivers, and he can't utilize that at all. And not only that, you've had one of the best minds to pick directly in your quarterback room. If I were to take Justin Fields and put him in the Jets uniform, I swear to you, I think we get a different level of production from the quarterback position because there are things that we do and the weapons that we have way better than what the Bears got.
Also, when's the last time the Bears had an elite offense? Because remember, even when they were in the Super Bowl,
and that's my only thing.
Probably when they had Jay Cutler.
He was cursed with that big curse, bro.
They had the names with Jay Cutler.
Even Jay Cutler, even with Jay Cutler, the offense was
Martellus Bennett, Matt Forte.
I was gonna say, even with Jay Cutler, the offense was never.
I think if you had Eric Bieniemy up in Washington instead of Sam Howell, I think you would look at Justin Fields a little bit different because I know Eric Bieniemy sure as hell knows what it's like to have a quarterback who has verbally told us he ain't know how to read defenses yet when he first came into the league. Yep. And so I know he would know how to deal with a quarterback to put things in perspective to make his game comfortable and be able to help him progress. And I think too, you think Eric Bieniemy's not going to put Justin Fields in running situation where he can utilize his leg? Like, Meek, imagine going from a guy rushed for 1,200 rushing yards at the quarterback position, and then this year they play a game and he can't get one quarterback run. Like, who does that help?
Bro, all right. So I do want to say this though, because I feel like we still are.
And again, like I said before, two things can be true. And
so that's why I said I believe if he was not on the Bears, he would have been a better player so far as a quarterback already. That's not because you already heard me say that. I agree. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. That's just.
And we don't know if he was franchise level or not. Still don't know.
I'm never gonna push that. But I just do think he would be better. I think under Kyle Shanahan could have potentially made him that potentially, right? But another thing is, like y'all said, it gets robotic, right? When he went through his progressions on those things, right? When he went through 3 progressions and the one where he had the seam wide open, bro, right after that, because in a robotic standpoint, I went through my 3 progressions, I gotta move now. My quote unquote, because your internal clock is supposed to be instinctual, not based off of me going through my 3 progressions.
Exactly.
He instead of right when he goes through 3 progressions and runs, because he's like, okay, well, let me go ahead and run now because there's nothing else. No, that's Justin. You were doing way better at the end of last season when you were going through your stuff, and then you knew what to do. You would look more poised. You look, even if that team was bad.
Go play sometimes.
You look like you were just ready to play football, and I blame coaching for that too. But then at the same time, when you're stepping up in the pocket, not understanding, you even at the very least, even if you knew you were supposed to run, right? If you step up in the pocket, you're not going to step up in the pocket just to run. You're going to run. You're going to use your legs and beat them to the outside. So those things right there, I feel like I sense a panic because of what's going on over there too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so that's still a problem with him too. And like I said, the panic stems from even when you get blessed with just the ability to have the stuff that you had to call. I mean, I can't blame you, bro. There's some things I can't blame you for.
Yeah, but also if you play your rookie year getting hit all game, it's different.
Yeah, it's just that's
but that's why I said that's why I said the things I said like last season, bro. He realized I'm not taking all these hits, bro. I can run, I can get away,
and
then I can make us win football games.
If you can escape the pocket, you have to. If you take a multiple hits like that again,
him right now with the coaching staff the way they put him in, him escaping the pocket isn't even the same. No, he ran up and to take a sack, and he didn't even. I know he didn't even meet. He clearly wasn't even on his brain. Like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
But like, bro, those
I can even look at Todd Monken though. I can even look at Todd Monken in Baltimore, the Ravens. If you try to, obviously, we want to see Lamar being a more pass happier offense. Being a more spread offense. That's cool, but that don't mean trade his legs in. That's gonna make him great. Right. So you see Todd Monken, they mixed it up.
You saw Deshaun Watson in Houston.
Exactly. Even when they still doing Buffalo, they still letting Josh Allen be Josh Allen. Go ahead, Tex.
Yeah. So, where is Greg Roman at? Does he have a job?
I don't know where he's at.
So, if I'm Chicago, wouldn't it behoove because everybody said that?
I wouldn't hire Greg Roman.
I wouldn't hire Greg Roman either.
I wouldn't hire Greg Roman. Bro.
Why not?
Because look what he did with Lamar.
He's not hiring with anyone right now.
I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't want to put
Lamar's first 2 years. They were going crazy with the running attack.
Yeah, don't be a great. Don't get me wrong. Greg Roman automatically.
He almost ran Lamar into the ground.
Exactly.
He almost ran Lamar into the ground.
Greg Roman will make you a great running football offense. Your offense will be able to run a football. I want to say this about Greg Roman. He can legitimately make you a great rushing football team. But I do think he'll look at his success with Lamar and try to put Justin in that same exact situation. And I definitely don't think Justin needs to be in the same exact situation as Lamar. No. Because the one thing about Lamar, even though Lamar got hurt last year, got hurt in the pocket. Lamar don't really get tackled like that. Fields be out there trying to break, juke, be getting hit. Like
that's fair. That's a fair point.
I don't know if that
different style runners. That's fair.
Also, guys, I got a quick thing. The Jets have finally made a quarterback signing.
Oh my God!
Is it Simeon?
Is it Trevor Simeon? Denver Broncos legend. Denver Broncos legend.
I got
J-Rob about the industry.
Peyton Manning.
We need to keep it real about J-Rob. We need to keep it real about J-Rob.
I mean, he ain't terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, he's okay. He's not great.
We need to keep it real about J-Rob.
I think they had enough.
It's 2-1.
He's better than Zach Wilson.
Unfortunately, Trevor Simeon is now the best quarterback on that roster.
Unfortunately,
but at the same time, we need to maybe highlight some reasons. Yeah, we need to highlight some reasons into why it took the Jets so long to go here. Okay, I heard Nick Wright say it. I didn't believe him, so I looked it up myself. Okay, Tim Boyle, the third string quarterback. First of all, why the hell is he in the NFL? Because he's Aaron Rodgers' homie.
That's my college teammate.
I'm sorry, bro. He's not good.
My college teammate.
I got to keep it. J-Rob.
Leave my college teammate alone.
All right. And then as soon as you said that, J-Rob just quit.
Tim Boyle, do not blame Tim Boyle for
This is nothing on Tim Boyle. This is all about maybe some of the power that Aaron Rodgers has in that organization.
Oh, duh. I mean, why do we have
I got you.
He's literally
all team around the man.
Ask the question, Random. What's the question?
Okay. Is Aaron Rodgers maybe the reason why they didn't go try to get a better quarterback than Trevor Simeon?
No, you jerk.
So. No. Why? Why not? No. Why did you wait 2 weeks? Why did you wait 2 weeks?
Because they didn't have I don't think they had a bunch of options out there.
Grant. Now he just blew mine. He just blew mine asking me that question. Oh my God. But no question is a bad question. That's
Random my getting nasty.
No question is a bad question. That's what
you already know. We already saw him act that way in the Packers.
This is the first thing I'm going to say. This is the first thing I'm going to say about the situation. Y'all need to start watching press conferences, and it shows that y'all don't. Y'all do not watch these coaches and players speak after games. I'm going to suggest to the chat. I'm talking to the chat. Y'all need to go out there and start watching press conferences and watching post game by players, because you'll get all of the information. Because guess who it comes from? Me, who does it come from? The source, the absolute source. So you're asking me, why didn't Robert Saleh go get a quarterback and it's Aaron Rodgers' fault? Well, I'm gonna put.
I didn't say Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Tell him, J-Rob.
I'm gonna tell you the first things about it. First things first. What did Aaron Rodgers say about the team when he got here? Well, I hope I just hold the fort down for 2 years, and then Zach goes and takes it for the next 8 to 10. So their identity was our future is still in the lock. Our present and future are in the locker room. That's the first thing.
You believe Aaron Rodgers, you're lying to yourself.
2. Robert Saleh for week 1. What does he say after he gets hurt? Zach Wilson's our quarterback moving forward. So why would they go out to look for one if they've already decided he's the guy going forward?
I think Robert
quit on him last season, J-Rob.
I think Saleh's done with Zach Wilson.
Then in week 2,
you don't want him.
Lewis,
the team quit on him last year.
Random. Let me finish.
Get him,
so
J-Rob.
What happens in week 2? What happens in week 2? Robert Saleh, what does he say? The quarterback that gives us the best chance to win, Zach Wilson. That's what they saying to us. So the reason why we didn't spend the first 3 weeks and didn't go get a quarterback is because we thought, and I'm gonna say this, I don't think the coaching staff and players thought they had another guy in the back. I think the front office and general manager thought that they had their backup or the guy that they needed in the front office. Because if you're gonna sit here and look at me and look at the way Robert, this is why I say you need to watch press conferences too, because you need to look at body language. If you think Robert Saleh standing on that podium, coming out, saying out of his mouth, the best quarterback that has the best chance to win games is Zach Wilson, and then they say, do you really believe it? All he has to say is yep. Does that sound like something he really believes and feels?
No,
hell,
first of all, you're
no.
adding some stuff.
But
And
if
you have
the people,
stuff here on
no,
my
I'm not
thing.
adding stuff. I'm not. If the people
Let me
who
respond.
are cutting,
Let me respond
the
when you're
people
done.
who are cutting your check, the people who are cutting you a check, are telling you to play this quarterback. You have to play that quarterback. Now the problem with it though is, are you willing to lose your locker room over this kid? And that's what this season is about to become. Are we going to be willing to lose our locker room over Zach Wilson? Because Joe Namath came out and said, I'm done with that. And you know who else? I watched Stephen A. Smith take Zach Wilson's stats and compare the amount of starts to Zach Wilson's starts, and the numbers looked grossly identical. At the end of the day, I've already seen enough to know that this kid can't play, because I've seen us put not only the thing is, and before I say, but you give Justin Fields Bears grace. The difference between Zach and Justin is Justin don't have a top 10 defense in football. He don't have the defensive rookie and offensive rookie of the year. You don't have a top 10 running back and a former top 10 running back in your backfield. You don't have a tight end who just a veteran tight end that just came out. So you did the situations are way different.
Simply put,
and I think it's also
one playing bad on a good team and the other's playing bad on a bad team.
And I think it's also the fans have had
real quick.
Let me just say this real quick. The only thing, and I also think you have to look at it.
Jets should have made the playoffs last year.
You got to look at it from the fans too. They were booing him off the field. They've had enough too. I think the problem is, I just don't think that they can have Zach Wilson play for a full season and expect any change. Because let's be honest, if Aaron Rodgers, none of us saw that injury coming. So now they have to throw Zach Wilson back into this situation, and after 2 games, it's automatically now we cannot trust this guy to get us into a position to play well. So they went out and had to go find Simeon. And I would assume that's who's going to start these games now, because they can't trust Zach Wilson to finish the other 16 games.
Let me respond. Please let me respond. Please.
You respond to everybody. Hold on, Grant. Let me say one thing. You're talking about my Jets, bro. It's my squad.
I got you, and I got dirt on it. I want to lay out for
bring
you.
Andrew Luck back.
You can't put dirt on something that's already dirty, my brother.
In a pilgrim right
Let me say one thing. Let me say
just keep lying and keep
that situation already.
All right, so what's the obvious truth? Tell me what I don't know about my team.
Okay, first of all, we can put Aaron Rodgers up there with one of the most lying motherfuckers, right up there with LeBron. We can put him up there.
Hold up.
Okay?
So you want me to
Stop, Jalen.
You about to unleash your demons, sir. They're about to end this.
What I'm saying.
Jalen about to eat through everybody.
Tell me what I don't know about the Jets. Tell me what I don't know about the Jets.
We know that the Jets did not. Sure.
Get it out. We got 2 minutes.
We know that the Jets did not make the adequate amount of make the right settings to make sure that they were prepared just in case. Obviously, they were not. Nobody anticipated Aaron Rodgers getting injured, and I get maybe playing Zach Wilson that game after that. You beat him, okay? You had 2 weeks to figure this out. You could have called a myriad of people. Matt Ryan turned you down. Other people turned you down. Tom Brady turned you down. But the fact that you are legitimately saying if the front office legitimately believed that way, then they failed as a front office. The team quit on him last year. Yeah, and I got you. And I got you. But no, the message you are sending your fans every time you trot Zach Wilson out there is a terrible message.
I
agree. We agree with you. Okay, this is what I'm saying. The reason I'm saying that is because you have Tim Boyle out there because he's Aaron Rodgers' homie. Too. He went on his ayahuasca trip with him. He's not a legitimate NFL quarterback. You didn't make the right changes.
Aaron Rodgers' friend. See, this is the thing. You got to watch the other shows because random. You not telling me nothing I didn't say already. And now I got to cook you crazy for trying to tell me about my team. That I came out here yesterday. I had a crazy rant because I said, we out here got Alan Lazard. We got Alan Lazard dropping passes. We got Randall Cobb taking more reps than Mecole Hardman. And I said, we got all these people here because they was A-Rod's homies. And so now that A-Rod gets hurt, these homies is not the same no more. You're not telling me nothing I don't already know, gang. And what I keep trying to tell you is this. If the front office, the people who write and cash the check, if they wanted to believe that Zach Wilson can pick up the baton, because that's exactly what they thought, that's what they were going to do. The locker room didn't have to believe it. The coaching staff didn't have to believe it. Listen, if Mr. Top Left himself, if Shaq says J-Rob on open field, and on gridiron, I want you to talk about Tom Brady at least at some point every week. Can I tell Shaq no?
No.
I would have to bring
That's my
up
bad
Tom
then.
Brady.
I didn't watch gridiron. I was working. I apologize.
No, you're not telling me nothing I already know. At the end of the day, yes, is Solid a coach of the team? Is it his team to coach? Yes. Will he make those decisions with depth charts and adjustments? 100%. But the money, if they've decided that this is their guy who they want to be their brand for the next decade, then you have to go with the front office. But the thing is, you know what Shaq would have to also potentially deal with? If he makes us have to talk about Tom Brady every week, if I get frustrated by it, if Doug gets frustrated by it, Trent, G-Baby, Bama don't want to talk about it no more, at some point, he's going to have to be like, all right, I don't got to do this no more because I'm going to lose half of my football team for player's choice because I'm keep making them do the same thing over and over. If you make somebody do something over and over and over and over and over again, you will go literally insane. And the Giants locker room has spent the last 3 years watching Zach Wilson go out there and play football, and their brains are literally being melted by it. And we deal with this year in and year out. And so, yeah, Trevor Siemian, I hope you come out here and play well, bro. I want you to ball out. I really do. Do I think you're going to ball out of control? Quite frankly, I don't really think so. But if you do, I know we'll be better than Zach Wilson. And Randall, I think the thing that you got to also put in respect that I said too is we're at the point where anybody but number two. That's just how that's how bad it's got. We're at the point where, bro, they could have Robert Saleh could have tried me out there to play quarterback, and they would have had J-Rob out there, and we would have been all good.
J-Rob.
You know how bad it got last year? At one point, our quarterback Strebler, we had a quarterback go out there who spent majority of his college career playing lacrosse.
It was bad. It was bad.
I've been living it for 26 years, gang. So don't tell me about this squad, bro. And with that being said, that's open field. We'll see you Thursday.
Jesus Christ.
Dang, you and he.